mighty crescendo caused by the latest of late tries by former Quins man Kyle Sinclair. Sheedy's subsequent conversion giving the Bears the win here at Ashton Gate. Sinclair again pitted against Joe Marler in a delicious matchup. Harry Thacker's a starter again, the locks are unchanged, and Ben Earl starts today. Dan Thomas having to withdraw late on, Jake Heenan onto the bench. All the stars aligning in the backs as well. A return for Charles Piutau at fullback in a division that just screams excitement, from Uren and Sheedy at halfback to the delights of Randrandra and Malins further out. Now you get the feeling that Quins are desperate to be painted as underdogs today, and with their key absentees you can see why, but with a quality international front row and with Stefan Levis returning to start, they'll take a bit of shifting in the set piece. The loss of Will Evans, we know, hit them hard, but the youngster Jack Kenningham has been fantastic, subsequently ably assisted in the back row by the outstanding Dom Brandt. Karen Smith, probably the pick of the Premiership halfbacks this season, and Ben Tapuai has slotted in very effectively in the centres, with Andre Esterhazen still ruled out. And the same goes for Tyrone Green and the suspended Mike Brown.
Well, one of the reasons why Harlequins are in the top four and make the playoffs is because their set piece has been outstanding, so I expect a real battle in that front row at scrum time and in the second row at line-out time. But it's the breakdown that's going to be absolutely key. No Dan Thomas, so Ben Earl comes in at 7, and I'm focusing my attentions today on his battle with the irrepressible Jack Kenningham, who's been outstanding. It's going to be a really intriguing battle, Hugo.
It certainly will be, Lawrence, and when you look across the galaxy of superstars, across the two backlines, it's very hard to pick out one head-to-head, but for me, I've gone for Andy Uren up against Danny Kerr. Two sides that want to play off quick ball. If you can stifle that threat at 9, you might go to stifling and stopping each team playing.
Two of the very best in their position, two of the very best in the Premiership this season, and it is all built to this point. Harlequins, champions 9 long years ago, last playoff semi-finalists 7 years ago. They've used this week to remind themselves of their club's history, what worked for them in 2012, and perhaps a little bit more significantly as well, for the more experienced players to explain to the younger generation that these days, Lawrence, don't necessarily come around very often.
Well, no, if you're in a Quins team, it's been a very, very long time indeed, so you've got to take advantage of that, and particularly semi-finals, you know. No one really remembers the teams that play in semi-finals, so you've got to take that opportunity, and really excited to see how Quins go. They ran Bristol all the way here at Ashton Gate back in, what was it, March time, so they certainly won't be lacking belief, that's for sure.
Loving the entry. It's good, Hugo. You would have enjoyed that, I think.
I certainly would have. I think, Ali, being sat up here, there's lots of games that we've covered over the last couple of seasons, but this one today, it feels so special, so special.
A cacophony all around Ashton Gate. Bristol are primed. Of course, like Quins, with attack and adventure running deep through their DNA. Refreshed after an unexpected week off. They've been the Premiership pace setters since round 6. League leaders, top seeds. Desperate to capitalise on all the work that's got them here. Wayne Barnes, a 6th Premiership semi-final for our referee today in his 241st Premiership match. And what a belter it should be. It would be a first final, a first stab at the title for Bristol, just 3 seasons after winning promotion to the Premiership. As we know, they played out a thriller here in March. It still rankles that with Quins. They felt the game was theirs. They led by 12 with 6 minutes left. Bristol get us underway in the first of our 2 playoff semi-finals here on BT Sport this afternoon. An excellent clearance on a very fine angle, taking play all the way back inside the Bristol half. It was a remarkable kick.
Yeah, particularly given the angle that he had there, superb, because it was a really, really deep kickoff right into that corner, and it's just such a welcome sight for those Quins forwards when you see someone do that.
Here's Harry Thacker, first start this season for Thacker, obviously back from that horrible neck surgery he had to endure. First sight of Randrandra on the ball. Uren playing with an advantage. Playing the 9 a little bit early, and there will be one or two nerves, and potentially, Lowell, as in these sorts of situations, big matches, big games, just a little bit of over-exuberance at times.
Yeah, it's a frustration for Harlequins because they did absolutely what they needed to do there. They isolated Randrandra, and he was on his own, and for a minute there they had the opportunity to counter-ruck. Let's have another look at this, it comes through.
Use that line,
This is a move that we see Bristol use a lot, and Randrandra well tackled by Tapawai, and then look, that is on them to counter-ruck, but they just played the scrum half too early.
Joe Marchant penalised, Bears poised in the 22. Thacker searching for it, he has it now. Quinn struggling to hold the power at the moment, and they've given up the penalty. It's Kenningham who's given it up, and away goes Uren. Sheedy, lovely handling, Malins, he's got it away nicely. Piatau striding forwards, sucking in those defenders. Desperate times these for Quins.
Perfectly legal, back we come, penalty, entry, 7.
Well, it's excellent defence that from Quins, because once Charles Piatau gets into those wide channels, anything is and everything is possible with that stepping ability he's got. This is the penalty advantage. It's Kenningham, isn't it, that comes in just at the side, and that's what Wayne Barnes, the referee, was playing. But I tell you what, having seen that man ball in hand, this is a really, really good defensive set from Quins.
I think they're about as old as you, mate.
Bright start, and good to see Hughes already. We're seeing the rock stars ball in hand, the Piataus, the Randrandra. They've got a feel for it already.
They certainly do, and you've got to consider with the 2 soft penalties given away by Harlequins, you don't want to give a team like Bristol Bears a freebie. That licence to thrill in those 15-metre channels, and Charles Piatau, first touch of the ball, puts them under considerable pressure. Good opportunity for Callum Sheedy to open up Bristol Bears' account.
Hands together in prayer, and the prayer's answered by Callum Sheedy. Bristol up and running. Delivered the telling blow, of course, with that conversion of the Sinclair try back in March. Such a wonderful match that it had pretty much everything. And with two sides so keen to play, ball in hand, you'd think we'd be very, very unfortunate if we didn't see something of a firecracker this afternoon. Sheedy again, and once more the adventure. Randrandra using Malins, he's lost it forwards. Good pressure from Dombrandt, and away come Harlequins on the counter. Smith feeds Green, one of the shining lights of this resurgence in the Quins ranks. Filled in so well since Mike Brown's suspension. Marler, Smith to Tapawai. Nathan Hughes locked over him. And Danny Kerr looks for territory, finds only Vui. Here's Thacker, keeps it alive. Sinclair's onto it, the former Quins man. Hughes fired onwards by Siale Piatau. Over the top they go to Malins. Cross comes Kenningham, keeps it alive, and Randrandra is absolutely hammered in the tackle. Lewis Liner with a pile driver.
Yeah, he got man and ball, Randrandra, and I tell you what, Lewis Liner left a little mark on him as well. That was excellent, but how sharp did Bristol look when they turned the ball over. Quins just moving it to those wide channels. They're going to have a go from anywhere and everywhere.
Well, what they've got in those wide channels is absolute quality. You can see how narrow this Quins defensive, but you've got to say to Lewis Liner to step off Malins and to pile dry his left shoulder into the sternum of... That is an unbelievable tackle. But for all that positivity in defence, you've got to say, defensively, with the penalties they're racking up, which is offering up these opportunities to Callum Sheedy, it's not very good so far in the opening 5 minutes of the game.
Just setting out their intentions as well, Bristol. Just remind ourselves, They've learnt a lot from the semi-final last year where Wasps made that really fast start and effectively blew them away in the opening 20 minutes. They're not going to make that same mistake again. Callum Sheedy, 3 points, and you know, some might say this is an unusual position to take a penalty to make it 6, but they want to build the score.
Bristol creeping forwards, thanks to the boot of Callum Sheedy, building that score. Knockout rugby, take the points when they're there.
I've got to say, that is a magnificent kick. That never looked like missing from the minute he struck it, did it? So crisp, so clean. Bristol 6 up.
Oh. Very well gathered in by Marchant. Just stole it from under Bristol noses. And it allows Quins to set up camp on the 22. Kenningham hit hard by the tackle of Sinclair. Smith for Tapuai. A lot of men on top of him. And the turnover has been affected. And again, the chance of the counter, this time to the boot.
Fine.
Smith jogging back.
That's inside, bring them on!
Pietau takes it quick. Uren is there, looking to work that 5-metre channel. Pietau dancing around Don Brandt and then straightening brilliantly. Extraordinary work from Pietau. 2 men to his left. Here's Randrandra, and in goes Ben Earl, surely into the corner. The entertainers putting on a dazzling show already at Ashton Gate.
Well, it's 2 of the most high-profile players that Bristol have, Pietau and Randrandra, and it's those 2 that combine. Not a huge amount wrong with the kick. Quickly taken line out. Look at this kick. I thought it was an excellent clearance there from Marcus Smith. But look at that, the chase is just in 1s and 2s, and they just get caught dog-legged. And once the switch comes in with Pietau, look at that, step off his foot and just opens up the defence beautifully there. Bides his time, and it's the quality of the pass to Randrandra, just draws the last man, and Ben Earl. Tyrone Green just simply can't get there. Wonderful score from Bristol.
This is what I love most about Pietau. Just watch how many times he looks to his left and his right, scanning the whole time, thinking of the best pass. He certainly found it.
This time just wide, but 11 points up with not 9 minutes gone. Ben Earl, who wasn't supposed to be starting today's match, drafted in late to the 15 on account of a dead leg suffered by Dan Thomas. He's made his mark.
Yeah, he certainly has, and it starts again with these 2. Lovely. You thought actually that Pietau had too much to do there, but it's that lovely switch of play, and that missed kick from Sheedy, about the only thing Bristol have done wrong in this opening 9 minutes.
Almost word perfect to this point, the Bears. Had an extra week to prepare, of course, owing to the COVID cancellation last week. They look to have used that time wisely.
Outside, bring them on!
Green tucks it deep. Uren waits. There's Aaron Morris.
Outside! Mark, please.
Might just roll a little too far for Morris's liking into the in-goal area, and they'll settle for the 22.
Ball still live.
They absolutely will, Ali. He's barely
22.
had any ball in this 9.5 minutes.
Yeah, taking it quick through Atwood. They were threatening it. And the Harlequins are going to have to be on their toes. The tempo is a quick one at the moment. Sheedy just caught in 2 minds for a minute there. Fed it back though effectively. Thacker to Uren. Green. Tip over the head, but a touch too far. Uren is there, and so too is Charles Pietau. Smuggles it away effectively. Sheedy, Thacker, Earl. And it's been dislodged, swallowed up by Care. Quins have it.
Yeah, just knock on there from Earl as he went to ground, and Quins have got an opportunity to apply some pressure of their own.
Joe Marler going nowhere and making sure that he feeds the ball back via Kyle Sinclair's face. It's a little tasty match-up to keep an eye on this afternoon. Care, Smith, Lauder. Bristol fans in excellent voice. There's the intercept. It's that man Piatow again. Smith shadowing him. Wonderful handiwork from Piatow to Morahan. Picked up once again by the Bears fullback.
Let go, Quins!
Deep inside the 22. Randrandra plays 9.
There's plenty of numbers out wide now, Ali.
Advantage over.
It's early Piatow attacking the line. Ben Earl similarly. Nathan Hughes draws the man. Draws 2 men. Malins was waiting. Malins has it! Patience is a virtue. And Max Malins has Bristol second. They have come steaming out of the blocks.
Well, let me tell you now that they are fast starts, and there is this start that Bristol have made. It's emphatic. It was the intercept, wasn't it, that caused all the problems. There it is, Green. And that man Piatow, you thought the opportunity was trying to link up with Thacker on the inside, and you thought that the Quinn scramble defence had done enough. But once Randrandra steps in at scrum half, they see the space, they go from coast to coast, and they spin the ball out wide. Really nice hands, and I tell you what, this is really intelligent play, because Nathan Hughes draws in both Green and Lewis Liner, and Malins goes exactly back to where the defence just came from.
Not quite enough bend on that, but they're going along pretty nicely as it stands. 16 points up.
It's been a lightning quick start, hasn't it, for Bristol Bears? Lots of questions asked about how would the week off last week affect them today. Well, they certainly look fresh and energised. But you add that with the level of accuracy and ambition. They haven't put a foot wrong for this opening 30 minutes. They have got Harlequins shell-shocked at right now.
7 tries in the Premiership now for Max Malins in his last 7. Limited appearances, of course, on account of England duty. Nathan Hughes with the restart.
And use it! Off the ball. Thank you.
Looking very composed, Bristol, at this point. They've set their platform. They've effected their exit, and Harlequins are already chasing the game. Smith finds grass.
Always in.
Uren. Taking play beyond halfway.
Yeah, it's that lovely boot, isn't it, of Andy Uren that they use so often.
You got that, crack the grass.
Pat Lamb will be absolutely thrilled to bits with the start that his side have made. That emphasis on that fast start will have been there. They've almost done to Quins what Wasps did to them in the semi-final last season, just blown them off the park, certainly off the scoreboard in the opening 14 minutes.
Danny!
Decent drive here from Quins.
And that's once.
Very little of note for them to get their teeth into, really.
Stop! Get out! 8!
In this opening quarter of an hour.
Winger as well or not?
Brilliantly gathered by Malins.
Just 8.
Such a classy player, isn't he, Lawrence? He just seems to have so much time on the ball.
Yeah, he certainly took that kick really, really well. And how about that for a kick, finding space?
Morris flings it infield. A little bit frenetic. Green. Danny Care searching out the grass between Piatow and Uren. I'd have thought they'll be very wary of any kicking that is remotely loose after everything that Piatow's been up to. Green. Really strong acceleration from a standing start. He's almost made it to halfway.
Sorry.
Smith. Clever. Really clever from Marcus Smith, and just what Harlequins need, but The Bears are not hanging around.
They're not. They don't want Harlequins to settle, because at the moment everything has been played at Bristol Bears' own tempo. They're dominating physicality. They are pulling the strings as to where they want to play, to the width, sucking numbers in through the middle of the park. And I think Callum Sheedy's kicking game as well today has been very, very good.
Well, I think it's a coaching point as well, because if we look back to March when these two sides played each other down here, the Kerr-Smith axis and the control of the game with that kicking game really kept Bristol pinned down. They talked about it. They said, look, if they do that again, we've got to take every quick line-out throw on offer.
Yeah, you've got a big meter there, Joe.
Barely time to draw breath.
Ball.
Ball has been stolen by Atwood. Bristol have it. Baldwin
He stole the ball in the air.
not supporting his body weight.
He won it in the air. It was absolutely fine.
Yeah, he won it in the air. That's exactly what Wayne Barnes is saying, and Quinn's line-out's been rock solid, but it's coming under pressure, and they just need to settle themselves here, because this game is not quite gone yet, but they're giving themselves a mountain to climb. Dave Atwood gets himself up. Bristol peg Quinn's back yet again.
We've seen lots of attacking prowess, haven't we, from Bristol, but Dave Atwood in that line out there, defensively, stealing that ball, winning the penalty. And for as much as they're attacking intent in those wide channels, we know they've got an almighty drive as well. The red zone at the moment is just off the charts, 4.3 points per visit, and they find themselves back into that red zone now.
Beyond 15.
Thacker to the tail, Vui not clean, swept up really effectively by Canningham.
So it's going to be a scrum. That's right. You're right. Hold on. Oh no, it's going to be a scrum team in possession. They've just collided heads. So just making sure you two are okay. Okay. Just making sure you're all right.
I think Wayne Barnes quite
just ran into each other
cautiously thought that was worse than it ended up being, and well done to him for doing that. Just checking on both players. They banged heads as they went in for that. Kenningham
they jumped on it.
scrapping, wasn't he, there for possession? And
scrum, Quins, first scrum.
They're going to have to work hard.
Everything's
Look at
been
this,
positive.
just dives
Scrum's
on
got
the
to be
ball.
positive now, okay? Good height. Good height.
I think he thought that Canningham had collided with a knee, didn't he, initially? How good has he been since arriving on the scene? Will Evans' injury allowing for a wonderful opportunity for Jack Canningham, aged just 21.
This Quinn scrum has been outstanding, but my word, they're going to be tested today, because Bristol look like they're coming at them in every single area.
Stay off in that. Andy, stay behind. Stay behind. Start using both down.
Care. Here's Pietau. Liner onto him fast.
Good tackle, come from onside position.
Pressure, it's made its way to Sheedy.
At the 10, Ben.
Plenty of height on that from Smith. In comes Uren. A commanding presence. Sinclair feeds it away. Here's Nathan Hughes. Great counter right from Wilco Lowe. And
Mate, you can't use your hand though.
Quite enough.
Yeah, you can't go into that ruck with your hands. You can absolutely dismantle Bristol Bears' ruck with just sheer physicality, which is what they initially did. But Danny Kerr saw the ball far too tempting for him. It's another unnecessary penalty. This is Wilco Lowe going through. Absolutely fine. That wins that battle. You see Danny Kerr's right hand just there. Still a ruck.
Yeah, that was a scrum half, desperate to get his hands on it and desperate not to have to get involved in the nasty business of
But the
rucking.
operative word is slightly desperate. We're a quarter of the way through this match. We're 16-0 down, and you have to start pushing the envelope a little bit. You want those 50-50s to land your way, but as we saw just there, 5 penalties to 0, 62% possession, over 50% territory, and Bristol find themselves at the right ends of the pitch again.
Are you in or out, Jan?
Anxious moments for the bevy of coaches that have dragged Quins to this point. Runs round us, nearly slipped free. Got the ball away to Pietau. Intercept from Morris.
Oh, he's pulled his hamstring. Well, he certainly injured himself just as he went through and kicked that away.
Sheedy to Malins. Good numbers up in the front line defensively there for Quins, but Malins has got away. Takes Dombrandt to bring him down.
Not on the ball.
Morris still down in the backfield. Here's Atwood, skipping forwards. He's got good support. There's the acceleration as well. Uren stealing another couple of metres. Thacker, quick ball for Bristol here. Quins in disarray. Big hit from Cunningham, but Earls onto it. Randrandra again. Hughes, that trio causing havoc. Randrandra once more. So good from Earl to cling on to possession there. Lauday and friends were very nearly onto it. That's gone forwards from Dombrandt. Harlequins will take a breath, but my goodness me.
The last passage of play from Bristol Bears is an illustration of what they've been doing this last season. It's hard to defend when the ball is just so quick. Look how they keep the ball alive. Cunningham, great tackle, but he leaves his mates cut short here. Look at the way they manipulate defenders, whether it's the timing of the pass, keeping it alive, or just running direct and getting quick ball. That is stressing Harlequins' defence just because they can't get back on side and get off the line to put pressure. Alex Dombrandt bails them out with an intercept, but further issues to add to not just the scoreline. Aaron Morris here doesn't look too comfortable there, does he?
No, he didn't. When he intercepted that and put boot to ball, something goes there. Who goes it? Is it a calf? Is it a hamstring? Might be an Achilles, actually.
And they exploited his wing really well. The one thing you need when you're playing against the Bears, who play such a high intensity and tempo, you need to be able to put miles on the clock. And sad for Aaron Morris as he's coming off. He's been in sparkling form despite his injury woes. But Luke Northmore, he's coming onto the pitch. You'd imagine he'll go into centre and Joe Marchant will end up on the left wing.
Well, a great shame for Aaron Morris, who's had his own problems with injuries, not just this season, but last. He spent 3 months out of the game with concussion issues earlier in this campaign. But you're right, Hugo, in Luke Northmore, they've got a more than able deputy. Been playing some excellent rugby and has really developed in the last sort of 18 months or so, hasn't he?
Ali, and what they're going to need, and you never want to see a player go off injured, but with Tapwine, Northmore, Marchant, you've got 3 centres on the pitch who are able to defend width really well, and they're certainly going to need that today against Bristol Bears. None more so than now, because you look at Charlie Peartow in his last match at Ashton Gate, he's promoted himself alongside Semi Randrandra. Put your tin hats on, boys.
Tin hats on. It's Nathan Hughes round the short side, and it's Malins into the corner. All too easy. Threats everywhere. Randrandra and Peartow lining up in the centres. Well, let's ignore them. We'll head in the other direction.
Well, Quins are shell-shocked, and it's just been relentless pressure, tempo. They've just come at them time and time again. Quins hanging on for dear life, scramble defence, and when you've got the threats of Peartow and Randrandra, beautifully orchestrated by Uren, just goes one way, and the timing of the pickup from Nathan Hughes goes the other way. Nothing Dombrandt can do about it, and that's a soft one, really, at this stage of the season to be giving away. But I think it's just a result of the pressure that's been on them in the opening 22 minutes or so.
9 tries in 10 games this season for Max Malins, profiting this time from Nathan Hughes' power off the base. Once again, it's sent wide by Sheedy. At this point, it doesn't look as if those points are going to matter an awful lot in the final analysis, but a lot of rugby still to play here. 21 points up, 23 minutes gone. Let's bring in Nick Evans, who's the attack coach with Harlequins, of course. Nick, we've been using words like shell-shocked. Is that the way you're seeing it, and how do you stem the flow here?
Yeah, I think so. I think, we're kind of fighting ourselves at the moment. We're giving away the ball too easily. They're beating us in the transition. They're winning the first 10 seconds after transition. and we're kind of battling the referee as well. I think the penalty count might be 6-0. So, look, we just need to get ourselves and work ourselves back into the game. We need a bit of territory, a bit of the old school foundations of rugby, hold on to the ball for a few phases, get a bit more direct, and just start building our way back into this game.
Easier said than done, quite obviously. You've got this raucous crowd. It's a big day, isn't it? Everyone's been building to this moment. Are you comfortable you've got the necessary clarity out there in terms of the decision makers to affect this reset?
Yeah, of course. I think we've shown this year that we can come back and we can score points at will. So that's something we're going to need to do. Look, the defending really well. We just need to hold on to the ball, which we haven't done there.
Yeah, Nick, it's Hugo here. How do you strike that balance defensively of targeting them at the breakdown and actually having men on feet to keep the width?
Yeah, it's all decision making, mate. You've got to make good decision based on the scenario that's in front of you. We've made a big emphasis during the week that we need to target breakdowns. They're very structured in their attack in terms of where they need to be. Pat Lam drills that into them, so they do provide opportunities at the breakdown. But if you're going to send 4 into the breakdown, then you're going to leave space elsewhere. So we need to make better decisions, especially defensively.
Thanks very much for your time, Nick. Going to be a busy half-time, I suspect, for you lot.
Yeah, well, mate. Cheers.
Yeah, just can't hold on to the ball at the moment. Just look at that possession stats there, 67-33. Kenningham just knocks the ball on, and problem you got with Bristol in the mood that they're in and the way that they're executing, they can go from anywhere. They could even go from this scrum.
Your end from the base. Pietau. He's making terrific ground every time he's on the ball. Ball has been stolen on the ground by Liner, but he was off his feet as he did it.
Yeah, that's been an area which we've just obviously addressed with Nick Evans. That's 7-0 at the breakdown. But when you have a look at the gain line collision dominance, I mean, it's off the charts. 71% and 52% in terms of collision success. When you have those type of numbers, you can play any game that you want. You can play through the guts of them, you can play wide, hence why they're profiting penalty-wise as well. I mean, their ability of what they've been able to do and have kept hold of the ball is extraordinary. 3 tries in 25 minutes. Harlequins have only made 12 carries. That's the team that is born out of attack.
Whoa.
It's the confidence that Bristol have got to hold on to the ball in those wide channels, whether they're in their own 22 or in the opposition 22. And with that penalty, look, they've gone 60 metres up the field, and here's another wave attack coming.
Taken back in.
Kerr under pressure, did very well. So too Liner. Big shot coming in from Luatua.
And use it, please.
That's a little bit of respite, isn't it, for Quins? They won that line out, but Danny Kerr choosing
You got the line
to
again,
kick the ball
Wilco,
off the
thank you.
field, so Bristol will get it back again, and plenty up their sleeve.
Yeah, just having a look at the last try, and it's the role of Danny Kerr. Andy Uren sells him perfectly. He should be in the boot. That saves the space there for Nathan Hughes. He's so smart and explosive off the line. It ends up being a simple 2-on-1, but the detail into that tack, great identification of good space.
Pietau finding Landrandra, lovely pass. Here's the Fijian. Malins again. Beautiful offloading. Morahan spiralling, scoring! It's a beautiful game when it's played like that.
Well, they're absolutely on fire. Malins, how good's he played today? How good has he been? Wonderful over-the-top offload. I think we've seen virtually the full repertoire from that young man already. Morahan, the beneficiary, straight from first phase. They're so dangerous. Look at that width of the pass, takes out, what, 4 Quins defenders. Then you've got Radranja running at you on an angle. I mean, Tyrone Green is almost helpless there, but a beautiful offload from Malins. And Bristol profit.
Their timing of passing, Lawrence, is exceptional. None of them hold on to the ball for a yard longer than necessary. Take the space, take out defenders, put it into a better place. All 4 tries been scored out on the width.
Wow. Smiles all round. Bristol are opening up here at Ashton Gate. Just magnificent here.
Yeah, it was that one pass, wasn't it? Took 4 or 5 defenders and just left poor old Green with so much to do. You've got Randrandra, Moirahan and Malin's all running at you. There's only one winner.
It's just beginning to boil over a little bit. Frustrations.
Stuart, find out why 8 just ran in that thing.
And the emotions running high after
I've got a 13-second delay.
such an eventful first half hour.
8 blue came involved, there's going to be a penalty against it.
Yeah, Nathan Hughes is
Sound
going to be
knows Chris
penalised here,
like
because I think it was him that
Thanks,
caused
fellas.
the problem, the situation. He's come running in or come in from a little way away.
Lost forward, scrum.
Well, a long time ago, back in 2012, Harlequins were 27 points down against Wasps at Twickenham, and
Keep
they
these scrums
somehow
positive.
effected a comeback with 24 minutes to play.
Just a wrestle on the ground.
And so, if they had to come out with anything here today,
blue interims, it was all kind of.
they're going to have to better that, and it will
All right then.
stand as the Premiership's greatest ever
Same
comeback.
control,
That's the
same
scale of the
height.
task now, facing Billy Millard's men. More than anything, they could just do with a tiny bit of possession, a little bit of time spent in this sort of area of the field.
Well, the possession they've got now, they've got to hold on to, because they've just given it away too cheaply on too many occasions, and Bristol are just punishing them.
Applewhite, Smith, lovely line from Green. This might work out nicely. Liner pins his ears back. What a finish! If he's nailed that down, Harlequins will be mighty grateful.
Wow.
Okay, thank you.
Speak about using the ball, well, they certainly did that, but it all come down to, was it a brilliant
so
tackle?
on-field is try, checking touch.
I think it's an
just
extraordinary
confirming grounding
tackle
as
from
well.
Moirahan,
On-field
unfortunately.
On-field try, checking ground in touch.
Thanks.
On the field, Wayne Barnes thinks it's a
right
try,
hand,
but
look at those feet first of all.
Moirahan's done a
Check
brilliant
whether those
job.
feet are up.
Some touch.
What a tackle.
No quick ones.
Total commitment.
No quick
Nothing
ones.
left out there. And Lewis Liner denied. Harlequins remain frustrated.
just goes to show, though, that there are opportunities out there for Quins.
They have to hang on to that.
Okay, now hold that back
concept,
foot.
that thought.
And use
Because
it.
just at the moment, they are on the end of a pounding. Vui under pressure.
Just wait, just wait. And use it. Time your run, Danny, time your run.
Uren buying himself a little bit of extra space. That was clever.
Touch.
And he's touched in flight.
Yeah, you're right, Danny, you're right. Way to go then. No quit. Slow him down, Dixie. Slow him down.
Just for all their wonderful attacking prowess, Quins, there's been that vulnerability all season with their defence.
Loose line out from Thacker. Here's Kenningham. Quins enjoying a little bit of territory for the moment. Marler drops the
Advantage off
shoulder.
the ball. Penalty
Piles
advantage.
into and beyond Sinclair, but
Playing the man off the
Harlequins
ball.
have a penalty. Man played off the ball.
Yeah, off the ball, Alex, that's a penalty.
They've got to score now, Ali.
Tackle off the ball.
Essential, isn't it?
You're at that play, you know, 9 minutes away. You can see this is
option.
this is wise. You carry the ball in two hands, makes it tough for Charlie Peartail, takes out Don Brown, but decision making is made for Quins.
I'll come this side.
31 minutes where you've had to defend
Yeah, but you can still
and
can't tackle him.
have 4 desperate conversations under your sticks
All right, we're all good.
from conceding. Now centre field scrum.
Yeah, I'll get it your way.
Got to
Same
score.
height, same control.
That's also first real opportunity. Been thwarted by the Moirahan tackle in that right-hand corner. Got back set up both sides of the field. Need the solid platform. They've got to take advantage of this field position.
Bind.
Hesitate to say this at 32 minutes on the clock, but it feels like do or die time for Quins. If they come up empty-handed here, God knows what their future will look like. in the remainder of this match. Dombrandt for Quins.
Advantage, Danny, penalty advantage. 12
Driven
around the
on by
ball.
Levis. Playing with a penalty advantage. Marla can't cling on to
Nothing
that.
wrong, out we
Atwood
come.
coming flying
Back
through.
we go, 12 around the ball, penalty.
Branty, back 5 metres.
Oh, just over here, mate.
Just
Just
a
over.
slight correction on the penalty front as far as Quins are concerned, and they've gone quickly through Kerr and Smith inside to Dombrandt. Dumped in the tackle. Thacker stays alive.
Stand up. Let go. Eyes on.
Oh, that's cheeky and slightly bonkers.
Well, it was advantage, wasn't it, from the knock-on, and when you're full of confidence, you can do
Quins
things like
player on
that,
the
can't
ground
you?
was
It's
just
almost
holding him
taking the
Branty.
mickey out of your opponent, really, paying them no respect at all, but why not? They're in that mood, Bristol. Quins, you can see what they're trying to do, go quickly. I thought they might have gone to the corner there and maybe gone to the driving maul.
Replay's on, Christoph.
Look, I know there's a lot of emotion in it, but
been
let's
watching
not have people
Wales
holding each other, screaming over
European
the top of each other.
Championship
It's better than
efforts.
this, you're better than that. Just talk to each other away from
He's
the ball.
loving
please,
it,
okay?
isn't he? Absolutely loving it. International debut for Callum Sheedy last November.
Just a big hit, and then they wanted
Just
to tell each
enjoying
other
his
they made a
time
big
in
hit.
this squad
just
that
hang around
seems
a
to be
little bit, though,
building
okay?
and
Just,
building. The rate of their growth has been pretty extraordinary, really.
Yeah.
Granted, they've got a fairly
them up a
chunky
bit, though,
checkbook
maybe.
behind them. But my goodness, the way Pat Lam has
I thought the
moulded them
engagement
into this
came and I thought you
unit
stepped
in
off,
double
that's
quick
why it was
time
a
is
free
very
kick.
impressive, Lol.
Yeah, and that
Yeah,
man,
of course,
Callum
Cam.
Sheedy, epitomises that wonderful article in the Telegraph today about
You're starting to get pre-engaged
how
a
he
little bit, just a little
attributes
bit.
Pat Lam and him coming into the club, really turning his career around. Sheedy was let go by Bristol. He went out
It's Bristol ball.
on
There we are.
loan
You're happy there?
to Jersey Reds
Okay, thanks, mate.
and got some game time, and then Bristol realised the quality of the player that they've got, and it's been nothing but an
space,
upward
keep the
trajectory
height.
ever since. He's a wonderful footballer, a wonderful rugby player, and it kind of, as I said, epitomises everything that's good about this Bears side.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Under pressure here from Quins, but Nathan Hughes swiftly onto it. Pietau on his shoulder. Siali Pietau opening up. And then firing it forwards as it's picked up by Green. He'll like the look of this broken field, but not so much that tackle from Rundrandra. A textbook. Kerr, Smith. Quins looking to impose themselves really for the first time in the match. Smith again lost his footing. Baldwin on hand. Here's Marchant. And bursting forwards before the tackle from Brewy. Nathan Earl,
Let go, please.
excellent in
Let
the
go,
jackal.
Please. Let go, please. Off we go.
Yeah, he
First
just got
man
himself
there,
in a
centred
really
on his
strong
feet.
position
Ball's
there,
out.
Ben Earl, didn't he? And Marchant almost did too well with the carry,
Seven on his
got
feet.
himself isolated because he slipped a couple of Bristol defenders. Let's go. I think it's
Ball
Jan
came
Thomas, he
away as he
goes
went
through
forward, but
Thomas,
he definitely had
goes through
dominance there, he
Vui.
would've got it.
Vui actually brings him down, but look at that. It's Ben Earl coming from behind the back foot, so he doesn't get penalised for side entry. Not too much knee support on Marchant. And how about this, the playmaker balance? Well, I mean, Quins have hardly had any play, so
Gloucester.
not much balance. It's completely imbalanced.
2 metres, please.
And once again, they're on defensive detail as Bristol come forwards through Siali Pietau. His 50th Premiership start, potentially his last game at Ashton Gate.
Use
Already
it.
a key influence here this afternoon. Rundrandra plays provider, Morahan, lovely handling. Sinclair at speed.
Good work, thanks.
Uren. Thacker takes it one-handed.
Fine, came through the middle.
Uren again, and Rundrandra loses
Watch
it
him stand up,
with
please.
the attentions of Marla.
Advantage over.
And Danny Kerr
Ball live,
finds an
ball
excellent
live.
touch in the end, but they're clinging on.
They are. They absolutely
Line's
are at
yours,
this point.
Quins.
I mean, even when they're clearing their lines, they're having to do it off the back of a desperate defensive set. Bristol are in total
Watch
control
out, fellas, you're hooker
of
down, you're hooker
everything.
down.
You've
Hold them,
highlighted
please.
the
Watch, stop.
playmaker balance. They've gone to the width. Their
just make
scrum's
sure-
going
sorry,
pretty
say again,
well. I mean, when they were putting together, trying to choreograph a sense of game plan and how they wanted to start.
Like he's first man there, really strong.
I doubt last week they thought it would be as good as this. 28 points up, 4 tries.
He's there because Danny ends up pulling
But for
really
Quins,
good body position
with half-time looming,
yeah, we're going to wait, don't worry.
it's been a long time getting to this point. You certainly don't want to waste this opportunity.
Sorry, Pete, is that clock right?
Don't forget, a little later on this afternoon, the second of the Gallagher Premiership playoff semi-finals, live from Sandy Park from 3:45. The Exeter Chiefs, reigning champions, of course, up against Sale Sharks, a repeat of last week's round 22 match. And then tomorrow, the second leg of the Championship playoff final, featuring Saracens and Ealing from 3:15. BT Sport 2 for that one. Sarries, of course, with a 60-point advantage. And next Saturday, the Gallagher Premiership final from Twickenham, 4:30. From the home of English rugby, BT Sport 1 and BT Sport Ultimate. First meaningful break that any of these players have had the opportunity to take a breath. Medics and water boys on the field. Charles Piatow in sensational form today.
124 metres.
Wow.
He's made in 35 minutes.
I'll do for starters. Plucked away by Earl. This is Uren for Sheedy. In comes Randrandra. Over the gain line, up to halfway. Clung onto by Tapawai. Thacker. Again, the handling is slick for the most part. Malins is caught well by Lauday. Has that gone forwards from Piatow? Wayne Barnes seems unmoved. The ball is with Quins anyway. Man down in the midfield, Marchant, looking for territory, not quite getting the angle. And Malins will touch down for the dropout.
Another injury and they're holding somebody's head, Barnsley, where the ball might have light.
Hold on, fellas, there's a head injury.
Yeah, this one might take a little bit longer. Right. Head injury.
Yeah, time's off.
This is how it happened. Just comes in there. Oh, Cunningham just gets himself on the wrong side.
Good contact.
Ouch. Tackle with your face. That's what's going to happen.
Want to keep him on the
Injured
pitch
in
if
the
they
tackle line.
can. He's such a big player, but of course, take your time. Make sure you go through your relative protocols. But Ali, you asked the question, didn't you, earlier to Nick Evans about them being shell-shocked? They have been this whole first half. Right across the season, Harlequins have scored more points than any team in the first half. 36 minutes in, and they're still on 0. That's how good Bristol Bears have been.
Yeah, it's a remarkable statistic. Quins having scored 89 tries, 9 try bonuses in the last 16. That's 25 more tries than they've ever managed before.
When you're ready, time
scored more points this season than any other side, and yet here we are, yet to break their duck.
Well, the problem is at the other end, they've conceded 77 tries, and that's 10th in the league, and you ain't winning any trophies by doing that, I'm afraid.
And away!
Kerr threads it through the tunnel nicely, but was hopeful of something a little better from his skipper.
Take the line out on the line, mate. Yeah. Line out. Yeah. Line out. You got the line.
The Quins have got now, of course, with the scoreboard as it is that there's a desperation about everything they're trying to do, and that can mean that you force the pass. I mean, it was a decent pass by Danny Kerr, trying to thread it through the eye of a needle there, but every time they get the ball, they feel like they've got to make something happen, and that almost plays into the defensive trap set by Bristol.
Hit the ball out of his hands. That's play
Levis making amends by this carry. Brought down by Luatua. Just keep thinking about that Morahan tackle for all the stunning tries the Bears have scored. How important might that prove? The Liner score that was ruled out might just have given Harlequins something of a lifeline. Certainly would have bled some self-belief and confidence through the ranks.
Tackle, away you go!
And goodness, they need that right now. Here's Lauday.
But Ali, at this point, they've got ball. But look how slow it is. You know, you've got Marcus Smith now having to clear out that ruck, so it has that knock-on effect to the next ruck. This is now another slow ruck, and they're forced 3 phases later to get rid of the ball.
Yep, very much not part of their game plan, is it? But it's worked out for Dombrandt. Malin's missed it, and Dombrandt will hair into the corner. Quins have something, finally, as we bear down on half-time. They've been obliterated in this opening half. Now they've got just a tiny sliver of hope.
Well, he hasn't put a foot wrong all game, Max Malins, but this kick from Marcus Smith, they just checked that everyone is where they should be, but he gets that one all wrong and mistimes his jump, almost taps it into the hands of Alex Dombrandt, and that's great pace from the number 8, and it's a lifeline.
But that's why you chase every kick. Tyrone Green just threw what you call things that don't take talent, puts off Max Malins, which creates his first mistake of the game, which is the architect for Harlequins' first try. Sometimes you look for magic moments, but sometimes those magic moments are just dead set on just working really hard and engineering your way into a game.
Not this time. 28 points to 5. There will be time for a restart before half-time.
Well, there it is again, and didn't need Tapwhite, does it all himself. Malin's desperately trying to catch him, but as I said, it's something positive to hold on to as they go in at half-time. Clock's in the red, so the next stoppage will be it.
Time you run, Bristol!
Sheedy drives it deep. And Marchant recognises the need for a big reset button for Harlequins, hanging on by their fingernails after the most extraordinary, blistering start to this contest by the Bristol Bears. They've scored 4, 2 from Malins, Earl and Morahan, and they are bossing things here at Ashton Gate as they look to book their place in the final. Half-time. Bristol 28, Harlequins 5. Well, Joe Marler and Marcus Smith and friends need to have come up with some sort of master plan for the next 40 minutes, because they have been clinging on by their fingernails today. The brilliance, the dazzling brilliance of the Bristol Bears in full flight. It has been quite something to behold. And you really feel like Quins need something very early here just to settle them down, give them a tiny fraction of hope to hang on to. Just not had a great deal of the ball. Tyrone Green has done his best from the back. Marcus Smith we haven't really seen a great deal of, but now we do. Carving things open. And Dombrandt is the beneficiary, approaching the 22. Lovely break from Smith. Kerr. Smith again. Tapwhite running into Randrandra.
Yeah, Atwood does really well to hold on to Smith there, so he couldn't follow his pass.
Push forwards by Green. It looks like it's nicely weighted, but
Stolen by 9 Quins.
Dropping on it. Sheedy and Danny Kerr has worked it back for Harlequins. Clever work from Kenningham, staying on his feet. Smith, Tapwhite, oh, lovely delay on the ball. Green feeds it back to Tapwhite. They're deep inside the 22. This is much more like Harlequins as we've come to know them this season. Smith struggling to turn and feed the ball back. Taking the penalty, taken quickly by Kerr. Pops it onwards to Northmore. Within range of the try line. Green! Life for Harlequins. They needed something fast in their second half. They have just that. The mountain is still a big one, but Tyrone Green has given them hope.
Well, everything that they didn't have in that first half, they've suddenly got hold of. Possession, and then a lovely little break from Smith to Dombrandt, How many times have we said that this season? Your big players need to step up, and they certainly have at the beginning of this second half. And then Sinclair penalised for not releasing. Danny Kerr takes the quick tap, and they've got tempo back in their game. That's when Quins are at their best, when they play with tempo.
It's criminal to allow Danny Kerr to take a quick tap from 5 metres away. Of course, I know it's illegal, but you cannot allow him to have that ball. That's the conversion there from Marcus Smith. But for the first time, they're able to get some quick ball, get their proper players into the game. The likes of Smith, the Don Brandts, the Tyrone Greens, and this is the start to the second half they were absolutely desperate for.
Pietau off for the moment. We'll establish the reasons for that. Obviously one of the standout characters in the first 40 minutes. That's for a head injury assessment for Bristol. What a start to the second half. Just what the contest needed, but just what Harlequins required as well, as the Bears come forwards again, and it's knocked forwards by Earl, thumped deep by Kenningham. It's a clever kick in behind, and Johan Lloyd, who's on for Pietau, will let fly with that right boot.
Open play!
Smith, Marchant. And that's a couple of times we've seen players lose their footing under no particular pressure. Heavy rain all across the West Country yesterday, of course. Here's Wilco Lowe. And Harlequins, you feel at this point, Lawrence, will just settle for a few phases and time on the ball, drawing the sting from Bristol. No one challenging it for that possession from Harlequins, and it's Morahan on the loop, firing his way down the wing and feeding it inside to Ben Earl. Stumbled as he crashed into Smith. Uren whips it away. Quick ball here could be very damaging for Quins. Johan Lloyd attacks the space, flings it wide, and over the top of Max Malins.
Well, I think the rest of the Bristol team, Nathan Hughes is looking up, saying, any danger of passing it to me? There was a 4-on-2 there. You didn't need to fling the pass. Missed 2.
But Bristol Bears, they can't get caught into this trap. The game's breaking up at the minute, and the one thing which I had in the first half was control. That offload there from Boo is exceptional. Wilco Lowe does his best. What a tackle that was. And then Marcus Smith gets back just to honk the brakes on Callum Sheedy. This level of inaccuracy, I know it's only 4.5 minutes into it, but Bristol haven't had a positive output from their attack. Something which was just so decisive and so clinical in the first half. You kind of feel that with the game breaking up, it might suit Harlequins, a little bit of chaos. Let it be in a slightly bit frantic, trying to break the game up.
It's going to be your line out, Steph, okay?
Yep, wouldn't disagree with that. Wonderful noise ringing around this stadium with 6,000 in. Only a fraction of capacity, of course, Lowell, but it feels full.
Yeah, credit to Harlequins. Their fans have got behind their team as well, because their team have given them something. They've given them a lifeline. That one try at the end of the first half, the Don Brandt try, and now the second one has just given those Quins fans some hope.
Through and answered.
Pops it in, and Stefan Levis claims it.
Use it.
With Baldwin leaving to join Worcester next season as Danny Kerr puts boot to ball. Max Malins feeds Lloyd, seeing the exceptional footwork that he possesses. Johan Lloyd stepping into a very big, significant environment here, though.
It's on the 10.
Clever kick that just is going to settle short of the try line. Green sends it out, taken quickly again. Has been the way from Bristol. They're just not allowing Harlequins to settle at any point. Uren driven upfield, still on his feet.
Tackle, away you go, Steph, away you go. Great work, mate, thank you.
Uren. Sheedy, little dab through. Siali Pietau wants this.
That's his knock on.
There for Marla.
Knock-on advantage.
Not that on Piet, I think, but
Advantage
over now that Danny Kerr's put boot to ball.
Great angle found from Kerr, great distance as well. Sort of kick that will really cheer the pack in particular.
Yeah, it's just, as Ugo mentioned, the game's become very loose, and you know, we've all been involved in situations where your head on the scoreboard and a team that were behind have come back at you, and I think Bristol just need a call, whatever that team call is, just to tighten things up a little bit. You know, they're still trying things that are now not coming off, and every time they do that, it allows Quins back into the game.
On comes John Afoa to raucous applause, and Kyle Sinclair takes his leave.
All done. Okay, watch on, please.
Change on the blind side for Quins as well. James Chisholm is on for Tom Lauday. So both sides deploying their bench. Not rolling here, Quins.
Well, I don't know how he could get away, actually, there. I've got no idea, because the actual reason he was pinned is because the ball carrier doesn't make any forward momentum at all. And I think that's a really tough penalty.
Not at a penalty.
And given with lots of appealing from Bristol, which I never particularly like.
A little bit rough on Jack Kenningham, but it allows Bristol to move forwards into enemy territory.
Line's yours, fellas.
I mean, you know, what Nathan Hughes is not the lightest chap in the block, is he, really? How's he supposed to get out of there?
It's important now, Bristol get a bit of time on the ball.
It's out. Hughes. Once more, through that advantage line. Uren fizzing around the ruck. Andrandra looking for that outside arc, and Northmore has him all bottled up. Uren to the air, Green in the backfield. Calling for the mark. He sets off in a hurry. Interesting decision that was, and Lewis Liner's onto it, and he's beginning to step on the gas. Green in support. They really worked nicely together, those two. Marla, Tapuai, Northmore, touch.
Oh, what a riposte from Quins. You've got to say they're growing and growing into this, back into this game, should I say. And the likes of Green with this little tap and go, and it's the reaction and support line of Lewis Liner. Tell you what, they may not be for the here and now in this game, Quins, but there certainly will be some special things happening there in the future.
The biggest thing for me at the moment is intensity. Bristol's has really stepped off, and Harlequins is up there, so Bristol need to get back to those levels in the first half, where they were bossing it at the moment.
It's loose, it's very loose, it's Harlequins' ball, it's James Chisholm! First touch! Is it on here? Is it really on? They think so.
Bonzi, eyes up.
It's a crazy game, Ali. This is, we knew it was going to be special. And in the first half, it was special for the brilliance of Bristol. But this second half, intensity and accuracy, after being 28-0 up, they've gone on to concede 17, and if this goes over Marcus Smith, this will be 19 unanswered points. Love to know what they're saying in that huddle right now.
Extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary. Low-hanging fruit, this one for Marcus Smith. 28-19. There is an altogether different feel about Ashton Gate right now.
Well, those Quins fans, they may be in seats, but they're not sitting in them. They're up on their feet for the reason Chisholm goes over, and this is game on now. Quins have just come back, all guns blazing. Look what it means to the players. And Bristol just got to tighten up, Ugo.
Oh, the mental application's not here. I mean, this is going to go dead. What are they doing?
Oh, my Lord.
28-0 at half-time, you're thinking the job is done. But it's not, because mentally, physically, there's 15 Bristol Bears on the pitch. But mentally, they've lost their heads. And they have lost them for the last 10 minutes.
Hands in the air from Callum Sheedy, just one of those little moments that is indicative of a wider momentum shift.
Well, you can't see the faces of the Bristol coaching staff because of the masks they've got on, but I wouldn't say all is terribly calm down there. They need to get those messages on. Look at that red zone efficiency. Suddenly, as you'd expect, it's completely reversed.
First half, second half, it's been a quite dramatic change in form.
Well, we mentioned it. There's been some extraordinary comebacks in the last few weeks in the Gallagher Premiership. Chiefs back from 18 down at the Gardens, Wasps back from 23 down against London Irish. It is possible. This team, this Quins team, can score fast, we know that.
Stay behind the ball, Andy. Yes, Danny.
Danny Kerr breaks. Smith. Just what was
I
needed.
definitely haven't got a touch. Stewie, I've
Just
nothing
thought
but
they
Neil
might do that.
Barnsley.
No touch.
Marcus Smith just putting the ball in behind, not a lot else on because of that scrum, and just does the sensible thing.
It's not clear.
Just looking at this last try, where's the desperation? There's bodies around it. Get after this ball. But the hungriest guy is Chisholm. He's not waiting around. That hunger in the second half has been the difference.
Harry Thacker picks out Stephen Luatua. One of those who'll be looking to settle the Bristol nerves at this point, as there will unquestionably be some. They'll be asking all sorts of awkward questions of themselves and their mindset. Liner feeds Green.
Despite how well Harlequins played the first half, second half, so I was just going to say they need that balance, can't run everything.
They're swarming here just outside the 22. Bristol living on their wits a little bit. Johan Lloyd feeds it out from the back of the ruck. We understand he'll be with us now for the duration of this contest, with Charles Piatow having failed his HIA. A significant setback for Bristol, given his extraordinary influence on that first 40.
Yeah, look, he was the star of the show, or one of the stars for that first 40, but he's got to sit out and watch it now. And Bristol still rattled. I mean, even that drill there wasn't particularly well executed. Andy Uren normally just hoofing the ball upfield, makes only a few metres.
Planning for his thoughts. Dave Atwood is making way for Joe Joyce.
Have you seen the treatment in front of you now?
Atwood's 150th Premiership start this afternoon. He's been playing some of his very best rugby in recent times. 53 minutes. An opportunity now for Joe Joyce to slot into that second row. Joe Marler receiving a little bit of treatment.
There's a bit of experience for you. Game is played at breakneck speed. Just having a little lie down, and always a nice little chat with John Arfoa there. Two of the personalities, shall we say, of the modern game of rugby.
2 metres, please. Watch on.
Baldwin to the front. Wilco Lowe feeds it out. Smith brings in Tapawai. What a line from Donbrandt. Extraordinary. And hurtling forwards now is Liner. Lewis Liner.
This is crazy.
What is happening at Ashton Gate? What on earth is happening? Liner with Harlequins fourth. Stunning.
Ali Eakin, we've been up in the commentary box together for about 6 years, and I genuinely don't think I've ever witnessed a 54 minutes quite like this. You talk about feast or famine, it was all Bristol in the first half, but then Donbrandt linking up with Liner, who shows a clean pair of heels. 4 tries a pop, 28-24 at Ashton Gate.
Just the clarity of thought right from that little quick line out taken at the front. Wilco Lowe back to Danny Kerr. What a line that is from Dombrand. You know, we talk about the stellar players on the field. Dombrand was the lifeline that he gave Quins in that first half, and then that line was another lifeline.
First Premiership semi-final for Lewis Liner. Never a more significant try. Denied by the post. Goodness me. 4 points in it though. 24 points unanswered from Harlequins. Absolutely brilliant line this, wasn't it?
Yeah, look at the timing of this pass from Tapawai. And then Dombrand. This is not an easey pass to make, by the way, under pressure from Malins. And he means that Lewis Liner hasn't even got to break stride because the quality of the pass from Dombrand is good enough. And Quins right back in this game.
I think we might need to tranquilise Ugo soon.
And use it!
Someone's tranquilised Bristol at half-time, that's for sure.
A little pocket of Harlequins fans away to our right-hand side who are going completely bananas.
Yeah, just have a look at the last try, and it's the organisation, the setup that actually creates. You can see Tapawai, he's looking at Dombrand, ball's coming out the back. I'm going to hit you nice and flat. And that's exactly what we see. Lovely delivery. Marler to Smith, to Tapawai to Dombrand, but then the pass is absolutely exceptional. Good organisation, good clarity.
Infringement in the line out here from Quins.
Contact in the air.
Harry Randall's on at scrum half.
Well, I'm not surprised because they need a picture change here, Bristol, and they've just got one there. This is the first breath that they've been able to take in this second half, and it's 16 minutes gone. They get a penalty, and they need a change of personnel just to get a bit more clarity out there on the field, because Pat Lam will recognise that his team are in a real game now.
Quins 10 to stay 10 at the catch. Quins 10, keeping 10 at the catch.
Looks like the calmest man in the ground.
Make sure.
I suspect he might not be. Good field position this for the Bears.
Beyond 50.
Joe Joyce at the tail. In goes Simmons to try to disrupt things. Has he done enough? No, Thacker's gone in to dig that out.
That's a tackle. Hands away, Quins.
Bumbled by Chisholm. Here's Chris Vui.
Use it.
Randall calling for numbers. And then swinging it back the other direction where there aren't very many of them. Thacker, well covered. John Afoa. Oh, what a tackle that is from Simmons. One of those momentum shifters, but was he offside? He was.
It's high tackle.
Oh, it's too high, and off goes Randall, changing the picture. Thacker. Getting to the short side, over the top, clung onto by Earl. Started this mayhem, remember, Ben Earl after 8 minutes with his first try.
Some take that from Earl.
Sheedy, Afoa, loose, ball lost. Kerr. Found good space in the backfield too. Johan Lloyd. Randrandra. Straightening through the hole. Brought down on halfway. Excellent tackle from Wilco Lowe. Had to be. Sheedy. Morahan. Oh, what a step from Luatua. It was a poor pass, but twinkle toes.
Yeah, Dombrand went all in there, didn't he, and just got buggered off as Quins have counter-upped beautifully and won it.
Extraordinary work at the breakdown. Canningham pops it away. Smith, oh, forwards. Just forwards. Breathless, isn't it?
Well, there's bodies littered all over the field.
Injuries.
Both sides, there's injuries.
Injuries.
A bit of cramping up going on. You wouldn't bet against that. It's just been an extraordinary game.
Got some injuries down there, fellas.
Thought Randrandra might look to try and link up on the outside, but he steps back in, and God, that's some tackle, isn't it? There we go. How about that for a step.
It's a lovely step. I'm really interested in the conversations taking place on the pitch right now. It's a huge amount of experience. John O'Farr has been brought onto the pitch. The likes of Sheedy. We're having to deconstruct what's happened, but what's happened has happened. The fact is, they're still in control, they're still in the lead, but emotionally they need to get themselves back to where they were in that first half. I've got to say, Ali, I don't know about you, but for me, the next set of points seem to be so critical.
Feels that way, doesn't it? And there's a lot of problem solving going on out there at the moment, or at least attentive problem solving by Bristol.
There's a lot of advice being given to Callum Sheedy. That's all I could say. He's getting it from everyone. John Arfoa, he's got Radradra outside him. I'm going to Pat Lamb, that man's getting messages on. Harry Randall, I think, has definitely given them a lift. He's got that tempo that Danny Kerr has. But this is a really interesting puzzle for Bristol to solve. You know, they've been white hot in that first half.
Good height, good patience.
Couldn't have been colder for the opening 18 minutes. And it's given us a fascinating game now.
Watch on, please.
Well, it says something about the motivational abilities of the likes of Nick Evans at half-time. More than likely some strong words expressed. Or maybe just one or two questions.
Start using.
Randall got it away, just about to Sheedy. Here's Radradra again. Ryan Lloyd into the line.
No Ben, part of tackle.
Randall. Morahan. Dornbrad's in there, really excavating effectively. Liner has to give it up. I wonder if Wayne Barnes might have let him have a go there.
Yeah, he definitely did. Ball was out.
Siali Pieta, they got numbers here, Bristol. Radradra ties in three defenders. Sheedy chancing his arm. Good tackle from Levis.
Good clear out from Vui there as well.
Radradra. Offload, was that forwards? Randall steering his way to the try line. Try's been awarded by Wayne Barnes. It's Bristol's turn. Surely the offload needs checking, but Randall scuttling forwards and Bristol reasserting some form of dominance.
Well, I'm pretty sure Wayne Barnes just want to have a quick look at this, but take nothing away from Harry Randall. This is the offload. Hard to see from that angle. Looks like it went forward, but love to see it from the other angle. The hand position normally tells us. Are they hands forward or hands back?
This is tight. Hands go forward, I think.
Looks forward, doesn't it?
Stewie, do we need to look at this together? Here's the ball.
This is an angle,
Checking in the
yeah.
background, Wayne.
Right, go and get one then.
Yes, Wayne, mate. Wayne, I'm going to show you a forward pass.
That's the voice of Stuart Terridge, our TMO.
On in, Stu.
The crowd don't like it, but it's 100% the correct decision, I'm afraid.
Thank you.
And then going to show you from the other side, Wayne.
Thank you, that's one angle, so we can't see the hands. Let's see the other angle, please.
Other angle shows the hands, Wayne.
Out of the hands forward.
Out of the hands forward.
Well, the right decision, surely the right decision.
Mate, we would have stopped it anyway.
Yeah, right decision, and it's a shame for that man because I think he's added something, a little bit of sparkle, and take nothing away. That was a sumptuous step that he put in there to score the try.
It was brilliant. I mean, Harlequins have been good for this 20 minutes in this second half, but they had a stern reminder of the threat for some of the superstars that Bristol possess. One offload, 6 inches back, and it could have been night-night for them.
You just sense that both sets of fans, of which the Quins are outnumbered, they're just urging their team on because it's still going into that final quarter. Anyone's game.
That space is good.
Piers O'Connor has come on.
Staying the contest, good height.
In place of Luke Morahan, so O'Connor stationed on the right wing now. Had a wonderful season. Almost entirely deployed in the midfield.
Watch on, please.
But super versatile.
Bind. Set.
Good heat applied by the Bristol scrum here, but Dombrandt has it. Plenty for Tapawai to do.
And away! Part of the tackle.
Penalty Quins.
Number 7, part of the tackle.
Oh, Ben Earl's the one that's penalised there, but I tell you what, the heat was coming through, wasn't it? Marler on our side under a lot of pressure there from John Arfoa, and Dombrandt does ever so well, even to get the ball away. Tapawai cleaning up for him, and Quins will be mightily relieved because it's been a little bit of Bristol pressure, disallowed try, and they've got a chance just to ease it a bit. So look at the pressure coming now through. John Arfoa just starting to exert it there, stays on his feet.
Yeah, came out under pressure, they just replaced it.
They need to give away this penalty. Compounding errors, forward pass. Let Quins get away with an easy exit, and now they've retained the ball when they just inside Bristol's half.
Just stand in front of them, mate. Just wait.
Will Collier's on. He's replaced Wilco Lowe on the tight head. One of those who's been with the club for long enough to remember the glory days.
Okay, you're in the middle now.
They're trying their level best to recapture. We've got Jake Keenan now on for Stephen Luatua in the Bears back row. Here's Kenningham for Quins.
Oh, it's a killer that. They've just worked their way upfield with that breakdown penalty, and they just get their timing all wrong.
8 broke the offside line.
And Dombrandt penalised for offside. Oh, I tell you what, that's so frustrating. Decision now for Bristol, funnily enough. They're going to go for goal. Don't blame them, do you? Just to, if nothing else, give them another minute, just have a think about how they work their way out of this little mess they've got themselves into.
Got to remain 10 until that ball goes through the line of that line out. Dombrandt comes far too early, completely offside. Timing's all wrong there. Big moment now for Sheedy.
Bristol supporters calling for calm, calling for quiet, calling for clarity from Callum Sheedy. Struck it well, turns quick, nailed it. 3 precious points for Bristol. They lead by 31 points to 24. Plenty of meat still left on the bone. Let's have a word with the Bristol Bears Director of Rugby, Pat Lamb. I mean, Pat, my first question I'm tempted to ask is what the hell's going on out there?
Well, it's a pretty good game, isn't it? That's what you want. Ideally, you know, we didn't start the second half well, but it's got to. We know every team's got to get their purple patch. They've had this, and hopefully we can bring this home now. But you've got to love the game. You've got to love the game.
Yeah, well, we're all loving the game. It's sensational. What about the control and, of course, all the clinical execution that you displayed in that first 40? It was nothing short of sensational. But second half, very, very different story.
Probably the first 30 to 10 before halftime, we started to get sloppy. We spoke about it at halftime. Unfortunately, you know, we talked about straight after half-time we need to get the tempo intensity, and you know, again, Harlequins, they scored the try, and fair play to them. They're a good side.
Pat,
I love the attitude though.
Pat, what's gonna see you home in this last 15 minutes? What do you want? What are you looking for from your
Control
side?
of the ball. We talk about the baseline, a really good scrum, being able to good passing, breakdown, ball presentation, clean out, speed into shape. All the things we trained, that's when we are good, then we work shape. When we get sloppy and loose, that will open up, all those opportunities open up if we get our details right.
Thanks so much for your time, Pat.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Strap yourself in. 15 to go. Penalty Harlequins.
Same pitch on my side, Bonzi.
Yeah, you've got to feel that as a number 8. Joe Marler very happy. That was a really good scrum, but you've got to feel that as a number 8, that actually it's not about holding the ball in. You've got to pick the ball up there because they were coming under all sorts of pressure. Nathan Hughes had an option there to pick it up, and he held on. He thought he might get the penalty. He's actually coming at him.
Well, no shot at goal from that distance for Smith. Instead, He's knocked it up inside the 22.
Look at this, ball comes in there and the pressure just comes through both sides of the scrum. Wilco Low doing some serious damage on that other side. Scott Collier, actually, beg your pardon.
Yep, freshly on Will Collier, and an immediate impact. And of course, straight after the words of Pat Lam, looking for clinical execution in the set piece to provide that platform, to provide them with their opportunities. Harlequins now with a different sort of belief in their ranks.
Yeah.
So don't forget, this is the first of two Gallagher Premiership semi-final playoffs this afternoon on BT Sport. Exeter Sale will follow this at 3:45, BT Sport 1 for that one. I think you might see a slightly different style of game potentially, but it will be no less enthralling and compelling. I'm quite sure of that. And then tomorrow, it is the second leg of the Championship playoff final, featuring Saracens and Ealing from 3:15. Sarries with that whopping great big advantage from the first leg. And don't forget, next Saturday, we wonder who will be contesting it. The Gallagher Premiership final, 4:30 next weekend, BT Sport 1. Line-out ball gathered in by Simmons of Quins. They're in the 22. Trailing by 7.
Advantage.
14 minutes to play, with an advantage. Kerr. Wrapped up here by Woolmore, and they'll take that penalty quite happily for the moment.
Whoever collapsed it. A blue shirt.
It was the set piece, wasn't it, against Bath a couple of weeks ago, which got Harlequins back into position where they were comfortable. One scrum penalty. Penalty now from the line-out. You can imagine Marcus Smith is going to try and get this as close to that 5-metre channel as possible.
Scott? Let's wait for your captain, OK? It's right on top of it.
I don't recall a semi-final quite like this, Ali.
It's nuts.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, we're living in a bonkers world at the moment, but...
Collapse, yeah.
This
came to
game,
the side, that side,
yeah, it's kind of fitting, isn't it? It's kind of fitting with the madness of what's been going on everywhere over the course of the last
You mean you don't know whether
year or so?
You don't know whether you're coming or going, is that?
Just about right. And it's a cruel blow for Nathan Hughes, who's had to come off injured, by the way. Will Capon has come on for Bristol. So that is very unfortunate from the Bears' perspective. And it will prompt something of a reshuffle, I would suspect.
Penalty coming your way, Dixie.
Not like for like, a long way from like for like.
Well, it's taken a toll on both sides, isn't it? And whoever goes on to win this, certainly if it's Bristol, with the likes of Peartow failing an HIA, Hughes coming off the field. Anyway, they won't mind about that. They've got to win a game first.
Funny old kick from Marcus Smith, that, Hugo.
Yeah, I mean, it totally changes the defensive mindset now from Bristol, where they may not have wanted to compete. This is a good 15 metres out, giving that forward pack a lot more work to do.
Wonderful opportunity this for Quins, with the wind at their backs.
No, get out.
Transformed since the break. Now looking to suck the life out of this Bristol pack.
Change your mind.
Another penalty's come their way. Here's Marler on the trundle. Kerr. Tapaway holds it back. Smith sends it wider. Here's Green. Marchant's on the outside. Really good tackle from Malins. Kerr again, still with the advantage here, Harlequins.
I need that mark, obviously, Dixie.
Chisholm. Good leg drive. Smith. Northmore. Back into the traffic. Kerr again. Smith to the gain line. Tapaway, brilliant. Donbrandt, denied.
Nothing there.
Bodies on the line here for Bristol.
That's twice now, Ali. One in the first half from Luke Morahan, and it's Callum Sheedy getting across. What an important tackle that was. Lovely break down that blind side. Fleet of foot from Smith to put Donbrandt away. But they retain the ball, they get that penalty, and Smith far better kick that time round.
Well, this is all hands on deck now. This could be, I say, the defining moment, because there's still plenty of time left in this match, but Donbrandt goes close. Ben Earl, of course, gave the penalty away for penalty advantage. And now Bristol have got a decision to make. Do they go up? Do they stay down? How do they defend this line-up?
It's a lot of tackles missed. No surprise if 8 tries been scored.
Well, we set it up as a thriller with these two game styles. And the big prize of the final on the line, of course, as Tapawai makes way. And Baldwin and Harlequins go to work once again at the line-out. Simmons gets it away to Baldwin. Buffeted by the Bristol defence. They've held that well.
Use it!
A little pocket of forwards ready to combine. Chisholm made a real impact since arriving from the bench. Kerr, Marler. Kerr again for Baldwin this time. Chisholm, a little bit isolated. Bodies arriving in double quick time. Here's Tyrone Green, great acceleration. Got it away to Liner! Once again, a small question mark over that last pass, but Lewis Liner thinks he's got his second. And the conversion could draw Harlequins level.
Well, there's no question about the line that Lewis Liner takes. It's just is that pass forward. We've got to have a look at that closely, because in the same breath as the Randall try was ruled out earlier, you've got to think that this one...
It's really tight, isn't it? It's nothing like as clear as the other decision.
Needs to be checked, though.
I think it's forward as well, I really do. I mean, I hate to say it, but...
I think you're right, Lawrence.
Yeah, I'm going to show you the hands from the far side
forward,
now.
Thanks very much, hands from the far
forward is
side.
forward.
It's the hand position.
Just got to rewind.
That was the feeling on first view, wasn't it?
So we're looking at the ball coming out of the hands.
Yeah,
And they're in a forward action.
It's forward, that.
No try.
Bristol fans mighty relieved. Harlequins supporters beside themselves.
The interesting thing about it, Ali, is the first pump, it's flat, it goes backwards, but he delays it. So the dummy pump should have been the pass. He holds on to it for a fraction of a second, and that fraction of a second was a fraction forward.
Well, it's that combination again, though, isn't it, of Green and Lewis Liner that's nearly undone Bristol Bears. They've been excellent. They've really looked such an attacking threat.
Just love the acceleration of Tyrone Green, particularly there, Lowell. We've seen it throughout the second half of this season. He's got adventure running all the way through him. Very powerful in the contact area. And he is able to move very, very quickly from a standing start.
Yeah, tell you what, everyone's biting their nails now, aren't they? 10 minutes to go.
Bears under pressure at scrum time, but a really good surge from the base from Nathan Earl, who's... Ben Earl, I should say. He's moved to 8 in the absence of Hughes.
Holding.
Yeah, they'll have to recycle this. Harry Randall's out the game. Didn't really make best advantage of that Ben Earl break from number 8.
Use it! Outside.
Important to get this kick chase right.
Touched in flight, so not the elevation that Randall was after. Here is Liner. Fizzing around the place today. Very strong, and they've won the penalty. Danny Kerr's away.
Called a player to trip over him.
Spreading it wide, and there's space opening up here. Northmore once again slipping on the turf. Kerr though to the short side. Grubber through. Dombrandt chasing. Johan Lloyd did very well to avoid that first tackle.
Brilliant bit of defensive play from Johan Lloyd, just understanding that level of body management. Get himself to deck. Expect a far more convincing box kick from Harry Randall. Get this off the pitch. Broken field rugby is not your friend right now. On second thoughts?
Keep it in field. Here's Tyrone Green. Using liner again. The terrible twos. A little bit loose. Not picked up clean by Sheedy. It's fallen instead for Northmore. I think he's lost that in contact as well. It's now Bristol ball, and Thacker is sensing an opportunity. Nobody alongside Vui. Joyce. Great momentum built here by Bristol. Lovely line cut by O'Connor. Temperature rising inside Ashton Gate. Randall fires it away to Heenan. Little tip on from Woolmore. What a tackle from Liner on Sheedy.
Huge tackle that, absolutely huge.
In the nick of time, wasn't it? Here's Randrandra. Shut down early. Just the sort of man to pick the Harlequins lock at this sort of range. Bristol looking for that composure, that clinical edge that Pat Lamb was calling for when we spoke to him a few moments ago.
Use it, please. Let him go, please, Ciali. Yep.
Less than 7 minutes remaining.
Keep ball for Bristol. Possession is your friend. A penalty, and they'll feel like they can get the job done. Callum Sheedy's in the pocket as well.
I just thought that was an interesting situation. He's a long way out, beyond 40 metres if he's thinking about the drop goal.
Take a step, please. Take a step, please. Take a step.
Not yet. Obviously, 3 more points takes them clear of the converted try. Just gives them a little bit of a buffer. It's clearly on his mind.
Good control from Harry Randley, just slowing every breakdown, making sure that there's the right people in position.
Sheedy wants this. Back it comes. No to the drop goal. Yes to the running threat. Still going. Shut down in the 22. Change of plan from the Bristol Bears. Penalty goes Harlequins' way.
On his feet. 14 was on his feet.
Again. His involvement in the last 60 seconds, whether it's that tackle, that Lasso, tackle that wide on Sheedy. The pressure they put on Sheedy. I love his position. He's absolutely right to go down this blind side. Smith's coming at him, dances outside, and it's a wonderful tackle. And Liner, who I think's been brilliant today, gets his head over the ball, and once again, his end-to-end relentless style game. It's not. No one is stopping. Can only imagine the amount of metres that the Bulls have run out today.
That was an exceptional tackle from Joe Marler as well. Liner sticking his head where it hurts and affecting the turnover, but Joe Marler, top class.
Yeah, top class, but also James Lang, because Lang doesn't get tempted to bite in there on Callum Sheedy. He actually keeps his width and he breaks off Callum Sheedy with the trust and knowledge that Joe Marler is coming across. Look at that. He could have easily bitten in there, and he didn't. Quality from Joe Marler. What are we, 75th minute of the game, and he's banging in tackles like that.
Killer turnover from Lewis Liner. Looked like the drop goal was on for all money. Now they're back on halfway, Bristol, and Quins have replaced Levis with Dino Lamb.
Tackle, away you go!
Lovely handling. Smith freeing up Tyrone Green. Again, that acceleration. That pass looked a good one. Marchant! He's going to take this all the way.
That's 2 first-phase tries. 45 seconds ago, Callum Sheedy is sat in the pocket to take the Bears to Twickenham. A penalty later and a bit of magic. We've seen this play so many times from Harlequins, in, out to the back. Tyrone Green has been brilliant today, one-handed to Marchant, and it's a kick to draw the game.
Yeah, no doubt about that pass at all. And Tyrone Green has been the dynamo, hasn't he? When they've pressed the accelerator, that dynamo's lit up. The pace just to unlock that Bristol defence, the timing of the pass, nothing wrong with it there. And wow,
what a conversion we have in front of us now, or rather Marcus Smith has in front of him. It's around about 10 metres infield. He's been kicking like a dream this season for the most part, but with less than 4 minutes remaining, this to tie us up. at 31 points each. Never in doubt. Marcus Smith with a confident strike of the ball. And from 28-0 down, Harlequins are level.
This is crazy. Who's up for extra time?
Yes, please.
Time to run, everyone.
Get the timing of the run right there, Joe Marchant. Absolutely doesn't overrun it, and well, we've got a last few minutes in store. All about field position, all about getting your hands on that ball.
It's Marchant again who secures the restart. Less than 3 minutes remaining. What drama. What entertainment. The Gallagher Premiership delivering in spades at the semi-finals level.
How far can Quins get on this kick? Danny Kerr.
Well, there's been lots that we've spoken about so far in this 77.5 minutes. The one bit which is going to be so important for the next 2.5 is going to be discipline. Anywhere on the halfway line, there's players that have the ability to knock it over and break hearts. There was heartbreak a couple of months ago with the last-minute penalty from Callum Sheedy.
Stay 2 meters, time your run, all right?
They're bouncing. The stands are bouncing. The ones occupied by the Harlequin supporters at the very least. They've waited a long time for this moment. They will have been despondent after 40 minutes. But look where they are now.
Still want to be Bristol. You've actually got the possession of the ball and you're going forward and you're in the Quins half. And that's a decent drive if they can just shield the ball.
Looking for the penalty that might just finish this as a contest. Quins having to be squeaky clean. Bristol recognising that all too well.
No, get out.
Dino Lamb told to remove himself. They're making steady headway here as well. Randall, Sheedy. Oh, O'Connor's been half caught. Got it away to Lloyd. And here's Malins on the outside. Bouncing through the tackle of Green. Randall, Pietau, can they engineer field position for 3? Here's Randrandra.
No! 7 gone, 16 didn't go in there.
Clocking the red in just 40 seconds time. Back on the 10-metre line. Oh, Randall's dropped it. Sorry, I should say Harry Thacker losing possession critically. And Danny Kerr thumps it forwards. Malins has given that as much as he can. Green is underneath it. He's been so lively. Smith to Marchant. They've found some space in this 5-metre channel previously today. Marchant again. Lovely pick up from Don Brandt. It's there on a plate. Marchant, Smith, all Quins now. Joe Gray goes to ground. Kerr, Smith, queuing up. Lang to Lamb. And Green has plenty of defenders onto him. Malins gets wearily to his feet. Here's Kenningham. And it's been knocked on by Joe Marler. And that will take us into extra time, surely.
5-minute break, 10 minutes each way.
Marler's smiling, but there's more to come.
Yes.
There is much, much more to come.
There's also some bodies lying all over the pitch. Thacker picks up a nasty injury there. He looks like he might not be able to carry on.
What a match. What an enthralling match. From start to finish, it's been chaotic. It's been mesmerising. And after this second half fight back from Harlequins, who, let's not forget, were 28 points down, it's 31 apiece at full time. Extra time beckons. Don't go anywhere. This has been absolute madness, almost from start to finish. the best kind of Gallagher Premiership entertainment you could possibly ask for. And a reminder that Quins have come from 28-0 down after half an hour. They trailed 28-0 until the Dombrand try on 39 minutes, at which point Quins have scored the grand total of 5 tries. That is significant because they scored more tries than Bristol, who scored 4 in the first half. And that is significant only in the event of the scoreline remaining tied after extra time. So they go to the try count before they go to the place kicking competition. But first of all, 10 minutes each way, with just a single minute separating those two halves. Just remember the kind of match we've seen. The fitness levels are going to be tested right to the max, Lawrence.
Yeah, they certainly are. I mean, what a game we've been treated to. We finally recovered from the 80 minutes, but you know, Bristol were just first class, literally, and they looked home and hosed, didn't they, for all money. And then Quins, what a stunning comeback it's been. And you feel going into this first period of extra time, it's Quins that have gone in there with all that momentum because they were the team to score last, and it's up to Bristol to wrestle that momentum back from Harlequins.
Contest, all 5.
Vui not clinging on to the ball, but Jake Heenan is there to do the necessary for Bristol. All those players who joined the club having moved from Connacht, his previous association with Pat Lamb proving critical in that selection. And here is Marchant, who's been excellent, particularly in the second period when Quins have had some decent possession.
For as bonkers as the game has been, Ali, the one thing you're absolutely going to have is that element of control. You can see a couple of phases in your first half and get the ball into the second half. And Pat Lamb spoke about detail. It's detail like kick chase, getting off the floor, because there will be some tired bodies out there.
Lloyd finding space here for O'Connor. Not too much in the way of fresh legs lying weight on the bench any longer either, as a consequence of the attrition rate of the first 80 minutes. And the game style, of course, as well. Here's Marcus Smith.
Inside, back foot inside.
Really began the Harlequins fight back with that searing break just after half-time.
It's a good kick that from Johan Lloyd, right down the middle. Forcing Harlequins to kick this out.
That's exactly what Marchant has tried to do, but it's fallen once again for Piers O'Connor. Woolmore taking the contact on that halfway line. Randall. O'Connor again, pops it over the top, but into touch. Not quite on the same wavelength, not quite with the accuracy required.
No, absolutely none of that. And the one place you want to be accurate is in and around this halfway line.
No worries, thanks, mate.
We've seen Harlequins score 2 first-phase tries off line-ups round about the halfway line.
Right, stop.
Spoke about discipline, control, detail. But the other thing is, I don't know, I came into today, Ali, thinking about I mean, it's been a bonkers year for so many different reasons, none more so than COVID. But for every single player, the one thing you don't want to come away with is any regret. It's been an absolute marathon to get to this position, and we've seen them pour it all out for 80 minutes, and the coaches, the medical staff, everyone is asking their players, we just need you to dial it up just a fraction for the next 20 minutes. Yeah. Leave it all out there. And I think every single player can absolutely say they've done that so far today.
Absolutely right. Our thoughts turn, of course, to the Challenge Cup semi-final last year when Bristol came through in extra time against Bordeaux, so they've been in this situation before. And as Harlequins come forwards through James Lang, one of those leaving the club, heading to Edinburgh next season. Pulled off the bench into the white heat of battle. Doesn't get any hotter than this. Extra time in the playoff semi-final.
It's a good read there from Bristol. Shut the gate there on the Quins. It might have forced the turnover, I think they have.
They got it through Earl, and Heenan combining very effectively together. Randall to the short side. Great acceleration. Bottled up by Kenningham.
Back we come.
And they will have the penalty from previously.
Huge job to get from the touchline.
I thought it was a penalty advantage. I tell you what, really good defensive read from Bristol there.
Holding on.
You can see where they've tried to hard Marcus Smith out of the back. No one falls for it, and then that pressure is applied in the outside channel, and that quality of tackle has allowed Bristol to get their heads over that ball. You can see Benell with his big left paw offers up this opportunity. Callum Sheedy, 42, 43 metres out, 15 from the right. He's had some big kicks this season. The blue shirt, the red shirt of Wales.
The sort of kick Callum Sheedy will have thought about and thought about and thought about. The cry goes up, but once again the post intervenes. Of course it does. It's that sort of day. Bristol from deep now. Johan Lloyd. Terrific footwork. Eventually brought to ground on the 10-metre line. Randall for Capon. Sheedy. It'll dab over the top this time. Heenan's after it, but it's Marchant who wins the race for the ball. Kerr on the angle, but straight into touch. Advantage Bristol.
Line's yours, Quins.
Yeah, it's a mistake from Danny Kerr. Puts his hand up, acknowledges it. Have a look at this kick from Callum Sheedy. Thought he'd done everything right. Hits the post and thankfully lands safely for Quins. Not too much damage done by the Danny Kerr kick straight into touch. Haven't lost too much ground.
I tell you what, for these fans who've been itching to get back to Ashton Gate, well, why not have 100 minutes of rugby? It's been that long. Full value today.
An absolute feast. Brilliantly taken by Joyce. Been extremely effective in the line out this season. Here's Thacker.
And use it.
Randall. Options left and right and aerially. Real tester as well for Marchant. Calls for the mark.
It's been very good today, Marchant. Started at 13 out into that left wing, defensively in attack. I don't think there's many players out there that haven't played well today, hence the quality of some of the tries, the excitement that we've seen from the semi-final. It's often a semi-final, knockout rugby, you kind of fear that teams might play within themselves. I don't think you could apply that logic today.
Yeah, at no point has that been the case this afternoon.
Yeah, of course. Go down, just go down.
Who would be a coach, though, eh? Who would be a coach?
Who would be a player? 87 minutes in.
Oh. Well, a player can still go out and win it, can't they?
It's true. I was just thinking of the lungs, actually, Lawrence.
They'll be burning a little bit.
Elephant lungs, all of them. Elephant lungs.
Marla just taking a little moment here, wisely, you might think. And it's those sorts of heads who are going to pull it through for one side or the other, is it not, Lawrence? Those that have been around the block a little bit, those that have seen it before, those that can really bring that element of calm, not just to the game style, but perhaps to some of the younger members of the side.
Yeah, there we go with the match stats. I mean, you wouldn't have said that 20 minutes in, would you? But nothing to pick between the two sides in terms of tackles made and tackles missed, which is, I guess, the reason why we've ended up 31 all on the scoreboard. Quins with, of course, 5 tries to 4, so they, as it stands, are in the box seat.
But it's important, Ali, to manufacture moments of calm in this, because there's only 2 mindsets you can have when you get into extra time. Is you'll have some players fear of losing it, you'll have some players that step up and want to be the ones to win it. And if you are if you are scared or fearful of losing that match, that becomes hesitation. You overrun things, you might drop things, you start to doubt yourself. But today, and right now, you've got to fuel yourself and get out there and attack it and win it.
Yeah. And that's the way they train, isn't it? Both of these clubs very much with that sort of mindset, with that sort of attacking, confident approach, backing their skill sets. I don't think they're going to go into their shells here. Oh, Kenningham has come off second best after that collision with Earl. Here's O'Connor putting a bit of width on it. Nice step from Lohan Lloyd. He's created some space for Malins. Managed to stay in field, but the ball is loose, and it's been taken in by Marler of Harlequins.
I've got it.
Big tackle from Randrandra. Another man down in the midfield on the halfway line at the moment, wearing Harlequins colours.
Yeah, it's Kenningham, isn't it? Thought they might stop the game, but
I think they should. It's a bad head injury.
He's been in the wars today, Jack Kenningham. That one off the back of the collision with Ben Earl. Frighteningly physical. Here's Randrandra with a crackle of excitement all around Ashton Gate as he tears forward. Semi Randrandra, what an offload! Capon can't hold it. Was that the moment?
He's got cramp now, Semi.
What a line cut here by Smith. Here's Marchant. Quinn's not finished. Another huge tackle from Malins on Dombrandt. Here's Lang. We couldn't ask for more. Any neutrals watching today? Very special match-up, this one. It's there for Kerr. Smith. Northmore. Three men around him. Green. Wonderful footwork. Again, Tyrone Green, outstanding. Joe Gray gathering it on the bounce. 1 minute of this initial 10-minute period of extra time remaining. Smith goes to the air. They profited this way before as Malins dropped it. This time Lloyd has knocked it on, has he?
That was just a knock on.
yeah, it was a knock on. Thought he had it and then lost it. Too many people in his way, I think, as he went through.
A tip on from Chisholm, and back we come for that knock on. So it will be Harlequins' ball at the scrum. 30 seconds of this first half of extra time remaining.
Just make sure he's all right.
I'll tell you what, I'm surprised to see Jack Kenningham still on the pitch. He's a brave boy.
I think they're taking him off, Hugo. I think it's the right decision because he had that first head clash, didn't he, where he got it all wrong in the first half, and that was the second one. And surely they've got to look at him.
No, I didn't think so. I just thought he missed the ball. Scrum, sorry, knock on by your full-back in the air.
Tackle with his face.
Time to talk to number 1 blue.
Say again, somebody.
Time to talk to 1 blue. Dixie. It's Dixie here.
He's back.
1 blue.
Well, it was a pretty hefty collision, wasn't it?
That is a perfectly legitimate fend, mate. Just lad coming low.
Talk to me again.
So
Stuart
I've got
Terrace,
it as a
the CMO.
legitimate fend. Nothing to. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, he's happy with the fend from Earl.
Alex.
And Kenningham
We did look at it, all clear.
still standing, having been assessed by the medics.
Well, he's a tough boy, isn't he? I mean, I pulled those two out, Ben Earl and Cunningham, head to head, and you'd have thought with Ben Earl, with all his experience,
They've had a look at him.
you know, he's had a very good game himself, Ben Earl, but Cunningham has gone toe-to-toe, as every player has, which is why we are where we are.
Knock on.
There's some game.
Quinn's ball.
Well, Bristol in the semi-finals of the Challenge Cup here last year against Bordeaux, which went to extra time. They're well used to it, but Lawrence, the value of this scrum
Chris,
right now.
he's not on.
It's priceless, isn't it?
Just the pace and the intensity of this game. I am worried for this second period of extra time because
Went down pretty quickly last one, didn't it?
they're going to need a couple of little breaks because it's going to be a moment of fatigue possibly that ultimately creates the opportunity for someone to go and win this game.
Well, with fatigue, you could talk about mental fatigue. When your body's tired, your head's going to be tired. You might not think as clear as what you were 60 minutes ago, funnily enough, and those moments could end up deciding who goes to Twickenham and who gets an early break and rest up for next season.
So Cunningham has gone off for a head injury assessment, quite rightly, I think, probably. Tom Lauday has returned. And this is a very significant scrum.
Reset it, they've lost their ball.
The last one of this first half of extra time.
They were never stable, they were both going down, they didn't give you the height you wanted.
Very nice this side, not as good other side.
I'd say it was well past.
Yeah, both loose heads went down there.
Thanks, mate. Just come in a little bit.
Sorry, both Joe Marler and Klopp's on the right-hand side. They both went down together, which is why no one was penalised.
The final act of this first 10-minute period. Then just a 1-minute breather. 1 minute to patch up, draw breath, stretch off, shake out the cramp, and go again. Nothing breaking the deadlock at this point.
Stay behind the ball.
In she goes from Kerr. Bristol think they've done a decent job on that scrum. It's certainly a scrambled mess as Lang holds it back, and here comes Liner linking up nicely with Green. Space on the outside for Marchant, tearing back in field. 3 Bristol defenders onto him. Kerr, quick ball for Quins. Is this the moment now? Chisholm rumbles forwards. Danny Kerr, driven back by Randrandra and Lloyd.
It's a penalty.
The arm is out of Wayne Barnes. Quins have that up their sleeve. In goes Simmons. Joe Marler.
There's a 5-man overlap, Ali.
Not going anywhere for the time being, perhaps now. Smith to Green, dances inside Randrandra. Thacker came back to make the tackle, and then the ball won't stick.
What a tackle that was on Green. Got to say, that's a potential match winner.
In between the 5 and the 15.
Quins will have the penalty and then have a decision now to go for goal. The clock's in the red, extra time, first half. You might think they want to come away with some points. Will they go for goal with Marcus Smith?
Go to corner. I'll tell you something, just a couple of phases before, if they could have got that ball out, I mean, I'm playing the game up here, having not run around the pitch for the last 85 minutes or however long it's been, but Harlequins have opted for the scrum.
We're going to stop the watch out today, I'm going to hook her down, okay?
We know that they've scored more tries, so another try is arguably worth rather a lot more, isn't it? Giving them that buffer, making sure that if the scores, for whatever reason, end up level, they've got enough to see them through to Twickenham. Did you say 100 minutes, Hugo? We already know that it'll be at least 102 and a half.
Yeah, well, we talk about championship minutes, and I'll tell you this decision here. You see Marcus Smith, Randrandra as their last defender. If that ball could have gone out, they would have walked under the sticks, then try and play a phase later. And it's too late by that point. The accuracy of the passing, Green has to step inside. Great cover defence there from Bristol. That level of desperation, and it is desperate.
Guessing you won't expect 100.
They're running on fumes. They're running around, headless at times. It's all coming from their heart.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is a really positive decision from Harlequins. They could have easily taken the points, but they're going to go for it. They're going to go try and win this game in the first period of extra time and set the level that Bristol have got to find.
And poor Harry Thacker, who is cramping up, is now walking over to scrummage.
Just off the mark, please.
Imagine that.
Which is fine.
He barely walked.
Quins ball.
It's a slow trudge. The only upside is that he is not going to be asked to do his job in the front row. That is going to be Will Capon. Thacker will be positioned on that blind side flank. And what a scrum. What a scrum. 7 months of Premiership season, and as we were mentioning before kick-off, almost an entire year that these two sides have been in action since the restart after COVID. It's all coming down to these moments right here.
Yeah, got the nudge on there. That's a penalty, Quins again. Ooh.
I can only play advantage unless the scrum has come up.
Let's go again. I mean,
scrum came up, number one, angle.
Because the scrum came up. I'd go again here with the scrum. They didn't just win that scrum. They won it comfortably. And you sense that Bristol, of the two sides, have just got that little bit of fatigue at the moment, especially up front.
OK, you've got to get that ball out straight away because it can't walk forward when it's up on their mark.
There you go, Ugo.
Hips
That's
tight,
exactly
please.
why.
Straight forward. Walk over top. Same patience pre-scrum, same height.
They waited so long for these moments. They're enjoying each and every one of them. Already 5 extra minutes in this first period of extra time.
Crouch.
Crunch time for Quins.
Set.
Bristol holding them a little better this time, but now they get the squeeze on Harlequins. Dombrandt for care. Smith whips it away in a hurry. Here's Tyrone Green. Lovely step from Green. He's there! The game breaker! Harlequins are close. They're not quite there yet, but they're very, very close.
It's remarkable, isn't it? That set-piece dominance once again. But then Dombrandt breaking off the moment he sees the advantage. The quality of passing here. Marcus Smith to Tyrone Green. And he does what he does so well. He's decisive. And he pins his ears back. He's been a revelation. They've lost Mike Brown for a decent chunk of the season due to him being red-carded. And he has stepped into those shoes and filled them so well. Is this the try that sends Harlequins to Twickenham for the first time in 9 years?
Well, let me tell you now, the significance of that try puts Harlequins up to 6, obviously 36-31, but the significance of this kick, if Marcus Smith hits this kick, Bristol's second period of extra time need 2 tries.
Smith does the necessary, and after 17 minutes of that first period of extra time, it is Marcus Smith and Harlequins who are looking in the box seat for the final at Twickenham in a week's time. They lead by 38 points to 31. There are 10 minutes left, and Bristol, who led by 28 points to 0 after 39 minutes, need to score twice in the next 10 minutes, or their dreams will be in tatters.
Yeah, here it is. Really good timing there. As you're going forward as a number 8, that's when you deliver the ball. And it was all about getting it to Marcus Smith. And then if he could get the ball away, then it was a foot race. And my word, probably one of the best players, if not the best player on the field for Quins. Certainly Green, been outstanding. And he wins that foot race, and he wins that stretch for the line.
I think it's really important, the coach's role at this point now, to relay that message which you just said there, Ali. Bristol have to score twice. This game cannot end up in a draw with just the 1 try in this second half. So they're going to have to get hold of this ball, get some territory. There's Michael Liner. He'll be so proud of his son, Lewis Liner, today. He's been outstanding.
So a converted try and 1 more score will be enough for Bristol, but what an ask that is in this remaining 10 minutes. And you just wonder if their spirit has been broken at this point. We know they have unbelievable reserves of resilience and character. All of these sides have built that through a very testing last 18 months or so. But they're having to dig very, very deep at this point. Having had total command of this match, Lawrence, that's going to do funny things to your head, isn't it?
Well, it will do if they don't win the game, but at the moment they'll be saying to each other there's still a chance to win the game, and that's what they're going to hold on to. But if they are going to do it, they've got to do it without the likes of Charles Peartow, without the likes of Nathan Hughes. So someone has got to step up and be a hero, because at the moment Quins have set them the almighty task.
How is this possible? How are Quins setting any task after being 28-0 down?
It's 2021. That's all I got. A reminder that only 5 sides have won an away Premiership semi-final playoff. That's history firmly against Harlequins, but the scoreline firmly in their favour at this point. Here's Siali Pietau.
Sorry, mate, my fault.
See Bristol having to play from deep, chasing that try, but they've got to do it with accuracy. A penalty now. Well, almost certainly, if you can say anything with any real certainty at this point. Just trying to find that balance.
Smith and Green. So good today.
Ball out!
Tyrone Green, absolutely everywhere in his resolve.
Use it!
Clear for all to see. Smith
Hold
to the
forward.
boot. It's pretty deep, and it's there for Johan Lloyd.
Tackle, mate.
Lloyd is ducking into trouble in the form of Chisholm. Randall. Sheedy still searching for the openings, but they're pinned here just outside their 22. They've got the blast on the whistle from Wayne Barnes.
Yeah.
You're fine.
It's a correct decision. Joe Marlow had his head over the ball, but Joe Gray couldn't get himself out the way. And Callum Sheedy breathes a big sigh of relief. Bristol will have the first opportunity, attacking opportunity, if they can get some length on this kick.
You can see what Joe Marler felt about it. He'd done everything right. He felt with that turnover, that could have been the game. But Wayne Barnes is right there. Lack of accuracy in Jack Kenningham's.
6.
HIA passed.
A couple of new batteries put in, and he's back with us, Buzz Lightyear.
What a find. I mean, it's extraordinary, really, to think he agreed a new contract in March, Hugo, with the academy. And he's just been sensational in the last few weeks in the absence of Will Evans.
Yeah, Will Evans has been extraordinary for them, but for every injury, there's an opportunity for someone to step up, and he's absolutely done that. I think he's been absolutely incredible so far this season.
Here come Bristol running out of time. Landajo on for Kerr at scrum half for Quins. Pressure being applied here now by Bristol. Johan Lloyd. O'Connor. Good physical bruising run.
Sidelines.
Malins. Earl. Those two, of course, heading back to Saracens next season. This could be their last act as a Bristol player. Malins again. Pietau.
Ball out, both players.
Don Brown wanted it.
Now let go, both players.
Randall. Here he is again, using Siali Pietau. The old campaigner still going strong. Turns 36 in October. Capon. He's fighting for everything here, Harlequins. Kellingham has to let go of that one.
Did brilliantly, Kenningham there, just to slow it down for a fraction of a second.
Ball's always available.
Randall. Sheedy. Earl clings on. Here's O'Connor within 5.
He's done brilliantly to stay in there.
Atwood rumbles on. Randall to Capon. Buffeted in the tackle. Marler again to the fore. Chisholm once again lending his weight. There's a penalty. Randall now. Sheedy. Here's Sami Randrandra. One last pass should do it. Here's Malins. Bristol still alive. Alive and well. A hat-trick for Max Malins and a lifeline for Bristol.
Well, you can feel it coming, couldn't you? Callum Sheedy's gone for the drop goal. Oh, he's hit the bar!
Goodness.
He's hit the bar. They know they need 2 tries, and the clock's against them. How tight was that? How good has Max Malins been? How good has this game been?
Well, they just need to win the game, and to be honest, if they don't get the conversion, of course, another try puts them in front. So And it doesn't sound quite as bad with that drop goal. It's the time that's against them, which is why he took the drop goal and didn't waste another minute of time, which is quite a smart thing to do. But Radradra just doing the simple thing and giving it to Max Malin. So we've got a 4-point game. Quins are going to the final as it stands. 2-point game, sorry, my maths.
And look at the collateral damage. Is that Radradro's coming off the pitch? Cramp. A player, a pure specimen. It's taken its toll, and you can't blame any of the players. That's the conversion.
I mean, this game doesn't need any more drama. We've had so much of it, but that's the third hat-trick in a semi-final in the Premiership by a player at this stage of the competition, Max Malin's. And now there's 2 points in it.
Right, so
with 5.5 minutes remaining.
Okay, we're just waiting for this player. Is he off?
Oh dear, next
replacing
score, isn't
13.
it? Penalty wins it for Bristol.
Okay.
Anything wins it for Quins, you feel.
Bristol looking to get a sub on. There's probably no subs
Watch on
left.
when you're ready.
Benello. Have they got the necessary composure to go 70-odd metres upfield and finish this, Bristol? They'll take that territory for now from Randall.
Bristol, you got the line.
It's a good exit from Harry Randall there. That's all you can do. You don't start panicking yet. Still plenty of time left to win this game.
Just to reiterate,
quite
obviously, a penalty wins it. 3 points wins it. The try factor was relevant only if those scores remain tied. They've crept inside the Harlequins half here, Bristol, but they've given up possession, obviously.
They'll have to challenge for this in the air if they can.
Gone 5.
Bristol actually only playing with 14 men. Semi Radradro's coming off the pitch. I haven't got a substitute for him to come on, so Benal is playing out in the backs.
Well, they've exhausted all of their resources. Johan Lloyd calls for the mark. And he's taken it quickly. And he's running into trouble. Wilmore being buffeted in the tackle by Smith. Not sure how wise that decision was from Johan Lloyd. Here's Earl making important ground, but they've got a long, long way to go.
Outside.
Randall measured that nicely. Landajo feeds Green.
Bring them on.
Randall again. Almost goading Green as he ran towards him.
Nothing now.
You can hear the screams of the Harlequins players. Let them play. They think they can contain it.
Don't touch the 9.
Bears fans right in behind their side now.
That is just a knock-on in the tackle by Quins.
Sheedy whips it on its way. Lloyd again. Just snared so effectively by Cunningham.
Yeah, I thought there was a knock-on advantage there. I'm not sure Bristol have quite got that advantage.
It's 3 minutes. You can see they're desperate to play, but trying to find the right moment. Massive kick chase on now. Tyrone Green has been so good from the back.
Here he is again, Green. He's got an unbelievable step on him. It looks like we've got a man down in the midfield. He's stationary, Harry Thacker, at the moment, completely unmoving. So they're playing with 14 men, but one of them's out of action. And Smith will just punch it upfield for now.
Harry Thacker was playing stuck in the mud, wasn't he, in the middle of the pitch for a little while. I can only imagine the toll on these bodies. Not only has it been played at a breakneck speed, but the physicality of all of it. Harry Thacker, it's just great to see him back on the pitch after his long injury. At one point we weren't sure if he was ever going to make it back to play rugby. But for the next 2.5 minutes, they're going to need everyone.
They've got to find a way, haven't they? Sorry.
Yeah, anything they can to bring some life back to those limbs.
They're in their own half. Just thought that Wayne Barnes didn't really give them much advantage. Quins knocked it on. Bristol went 20 metres backwards, kicked the ball, and that was advantage over. And in the context of the game, it's now set them back because they're behind their own 10-metre line, and you feel with the clock ticking down that they've got to have to pull something pretty special out the bag.
Well, the penalty would do it, wouldn't it? That's all they'd do, that's all they'd need. But they're going to have to do it from their own half. But with the quality of players that they've got, cramp or no cramp, they certainly have the ability. I mean, that Bristol fan there in a white shirt is probably summing up the feelings of two towns, two cities, two teams. I'm just exhausted as he is, and I haven't run a single metre today.
It is draining on every level. The emotions being pulled left and right, up and down, inside and out. And we've got 2.5 minutes to try to settle this. Harlequins, of course, who relieved Paul Gustard of his duties earlier in the season. They were seemingly down and out at that point, but what a recovery they made all the way into this position. Commiserations to Harry Thacker. A brutal way to finish what has been an incredibly challenging season for him. You mentioned the neck operation earlier. He's battled so hard to get back fit. Now incapacitated once more.
And Bristol down to 13 now, Ali.
13 men
in 5
of Bristol battling against the 15 of Quins. And this all-important 2-point deficit. Seeing a little bit too much of James Chisholm right now.
Yeah. It's a decent drive from Bristol. Chisholm's doing everything he can to stop it. Apologies if that offended you.
Cheeky drive.
That's once.
From Bristol. They've made it into enemy territory.
They've got 13 men in that ball.
Just 2 on the outside. And Sheedy's now been sucked in as well as just Johan Lloyd patrolling the open side. So they're going to work this channel. Malins runs into Landajo.
They've got to keep it tight, haven't they? They've just almost got to play 1 or 2 out rugby because just haven't got the numbers.
Little tip-on's the name of the game at the moment. Randall gathers it in, then loses his footing, goes again. One moment will decide it. One error or one piece of brilliance.
I mean, they want to get themselves in penalty goal range or drop goal range or some sort of range, but Quinn's defence magnificent, repelling them backwards.
Sheedy still looking for spaces, finding none at the moment. Harlequins' defence turbocharged for the time being. O'Connor running out of friends and allies. Back to halfway they go. Randall, oh, it's been handed to Landajo on a plate. Harlequins might not need too much more.
Ball is in.
Final minute.
It's 50 seconds of keep ball time now.
Use it. Arrive up.
Seconds away from glory, Harlequins.
You've lost that, Quins.
The most unexpected of glories.
Bristol have won it
Bristol
back.
have won it back.
Ball is skinning.
Wilmore.
That's
Peartown,
high.
clobbered. Was that high?
Surely that was high. Come on.
Quins have it. Turnover ball. Landajo, Smith. Wide to Marchant to finish the job. Harlequins think the party started. Marchant might just have sealed it here. But there are questions, there have to be questions over that tackle, that challenge.
If it's clear like the other two, but it wasn't clear live for me.
Wayne Barnes, I think, is satisfied that it was legal.
Hold on a minute.
So we might have to deal with it.
No, that's not legal at all. I said that. It says high. It had to be high.
Could be a red
We need
card.
to look at this way. Indirect contact.
Wait, please, let me just come over to the screen.
How much drama do you
So,
want?
at the moment, we've
Tell
got
you what.
on-field try. But we're looking at potential foul play on 12 Bristol.
Correct, Wayne. Well,
Thanks, mate.
been reviewing the angles in the background. We're just going to run some for you now.
Thank you very much. And Peter, just so aware, we are on time as well, aren't we?
Time is up.
Thanks. So there we are. We've got 12. We've got, I can't see the number. So we've got that right tackle. Can you tell me where, if that shoulder makes contact with the head, please, Stewie?
Yeah, we're trying to get an angle, mate.
So that's not as clear.
It's not clear.
This one might be a bit better.
I don't need you.
I think it hits him in the
So
head.
that's not clear as well.
Top of the shoulder.
No clear. There's no clear direct or indirect contact yet.
There's no clear head contact yet. And you're going to have to help me on that one, Stewie. Is there clear head contact on that or not?
Wayne, just bear with me. Just see if I get a couple more angles and then I'll call you in.
Thank you very much. That's the only angle that I've got potential head contact, and you're going to have to lead on that.
Upon this decision rests an enormous amount.
Well, I mean, in viewing that, I don't think that's a red card.
I'm going to show you this last one, Wayne, now.
Okay, and where is the contact, Stewie?
Right.
Yeah, can you tell me where the contact is, please?
I think he hits him on the top of the shoulder.
I think you might be right.
I'm comfortable with the,
Wayne,
yellow card.
that is a legal tackle.
That is legal. There is no contact with the head. Okay, so we've reviewed it. There is no contact with the head, so the try still stands.
Try stands. That is it. Harlequins are going to Twickenham. The great escape. A record-breaking comeback from 28 points to 0 down. And 9 years on from their most famous day, Harlequins will return to the big time. Staggering. Breathtaking.
Well, this is it here, Luke Northmore. Great spot here. There, the margins a few inches higher, and he's going off. And this game is still going on. And Harlequins just resort to type and carry on playing and go over for their 7th try. Been 28-0 down and out. They're heading to Twickenham. That's been one of the most remarkable 104 minutes of rugby I have ever seen in my life.
Just remarkable in every way. So many twists, so many turns. Marcus Smith can afford himself a smile, knowing that this kick matters not. Let the celebrations begin. Celebrations Quins and their supporters must surely have felt was only a pipe dream at the break. At half-time, they really looked out of sorts and out of luck. And the most remarkable of comebacks has been effected. An away win, no less, in a Premiership semi-final. The first time that's been done since Saracens at the Gardens in 2015. A festival of swashbuckling rugby, everything we could possibly have hoped for. And it's Quins who head to Twickenham for the Gallagher Premiership final. Full time at Ashton Gate. Bristol 36, Harlequins remarkably 43.
With their shattered bodies on the pitch, and there's some shattered dreams in the stands from a Bristol perspective. It's been one of the most remarkable games, it truly is. At 28-0 down, Harlequins looked shell-shocked, looked defeated, and they came out with a renewed energy. I'll tell you what, some of the intangibles in sport you can't quite put a value on. But what's the value of having fans back here today? It's certainly added to all of that.
Well, heartbreak for Bristol, who've led this Premiership since round 6. Qualified as top seeds, top of the league, home semi-final, everything was there, including this huge buffer. But what character